We are back, and I'm here with Nick again, who is YunoTCG on YouTube. So again, make sure to check him out. Nick was very adamant, or had a lot of passion. How about that? Had a lot of passion for Sympho gear. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, so I think this is extremely huge news. Apparently, someone pulled a God pack from their case, which consists of eight, what is it, ACS rares, which are reprints from the old Symphogear set and an SP in one pack. So there's eight like foil cards. I mean, it's a typical God pack. If you've ever opened Pokemon, they have God packs too, where it's like a bunch of secret rares and holo cards all in one pack. So yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about this.
Right. And what we're looking at here is an auction that ends in 15 hours. So it's going to be pretty exciting. It's a really nice card
That
and
is a
really
nice
nice
card,
card.
yeah.
And like you said, there are ACS cards, and we are here on UUT right now. And they're I actually like this card a lot. The four elemental alchemy, which I don't know if that translated correctly, but that's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
It's what Bing has translated for me. But no, I think that's pretty awesome. So when you take a look at the amounts of yen, anyways, we did some math here. So the yen equals 33,980. Um, and currently this is 26,000. So not market price yet, and but it's still got 15 hours with six bids right now. So
You have any
uh,
guesses what it's gonna go for?
uh this is 2480, but three left. I discount it. I probably subtract that like 480. Um, this 500 thing, I would drop down another 300. It's not even all that much. But then since it's an auction and you could probably still open packs and all that, I would probably knock off another 25%. Ooh, I'm off. Where are we at? No, I mean it's over what I would pay for it. I think that's
Wow.
26,000 right now is a decent price. If people really want this thing, I would say 30. Because again, it's like even though UUT is a price guide market rate, do you really want to have all of these? It depends on the person, right? Do you really want
Yeah.
all of these cards? Yeah, you probably do. But am I going to pay the UUT price of each one of them? That's what I mean. I'm like, I don't know. I could have just bought it from UUT then. I mean, I know a lot of these are sold out, but with more gonna be open, I think 30,000 is probably the highest I would go for it. Like what I did, I wouldn't pay more than 25 for it. At 26, I'm already out.
Yeah. I think it'll go for 45,000.
45. Shoot.
45,000. Yep.
I'm gonna bookmark that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I
I'm
honestly
going.
think, honestly, man, I think that people didn't know that these were going to be in there, which seems pretty apparent. And I think it caught people by surprise. So they didn't order boxes and now they want to get in on these. I
You
don't
want to
know.
get on that? I think that's what the thrill is. And again, it's not just, Weiss, it's other stuff like Dragon Ball. My sister got a God pack, and it's just that feeling. Like I told you before, it was like Card Fight Vanguard, the Bang Dream set that came out not too long ago. They had God packs too. And I think people just love opening them, like having this feeling that you're getting all these kind of special cards inside. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but and that's what I think God packs are it's the fun of it, it gives you the thrill of opening
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
something. But at the same time, like I feel like if there's one in a case, these eight cards are definitely not like rare. It sounds weird saying that, but
Yeah.
unless they have a high playability or people want to max rarity them, right? Having one in every case, if that's the actual drop rate, is kind of a lot. For me, a God pack I would hope that there would be a more variety of cards, like instead of having 8 of these, maybe like 16, to have
Yeah,
them shuffle in there or something like that. Like higher number of rares
yeah, yeah.
inside. Or
It
yeah,
is really cool, but I think that the huge thing that people aren't looking at is that these are not supposed to be in the set. They are from an old set, which means whenever they want, they can print these old cards. That
yeah,
I don't think anyone's been talking about that, but to me, that's huge. So, does that mean they're going to go back and print everything as much as they want? No, but it means that the option's there that I feel like a lot of people thought they just couldn't do it.
yeah. I think. mm,
Because what
I feel
I
like that's
was,
always an option. I don't know why they haven't done it all this time, but
so
because
what,
again, like with I know nothing about licensing and contracts. Like, so if I get Konosuba season 1 and season 2, and I do a Konosuba season 6, I know there is no season 6, but let's say we're on season 6 and they make a Weiss season 6 Konosuba. Um, does the licensing say you can pick anything, or is it like of our particular season? So
so what I was under the impression of, this is just what I was told from people. Like I said, I don't know, uh, but so what I thought it was that you pay for the licensing and you get those exact cards and that's it, and then you can only print them for a limited amount of time. So
yeah,
your contract expires and that's it. You have those cards. You can't print any secret thing that you didn't tell them about, and that's it.
yeah,
And then the contract runs for 1 year, whatever it is. And then after that's up, you can't print those cards again. That's what I thought it was. But seeing this, I don't, maybe they renegotiated and got like, hey,
yeah. No, you would
we want a
totally
couple of these old
renegotiate.
ones and all these new ones. Maybe that's what they did. I don't know. But
Yeah, and
this is, I don't know. This could be something huge.
that's what I said before about like reprinting old sets. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You would go about doing it like, to me, how it works is if there's a 6 season Konosuba that you want to print, you go into that meeting and you say, we want 6 season. While we're here, we know that there are some cards that we want from season 1 and season 2 reprinted, and you throw them that little bit of extra rate because, like, here's the main deal. Let's say you're, again, we're just making up numbers. Here's $1 million to let me print Konosuba 6 season. But by the way, we want to do 1 and 2. We know we're not going to sell as many, right? Season 1 and season 2, like we're just adding it in. So if we give you 100 grand, are you okay with doing that? Like that's why the problem with reprints are you can't go back that to them, and if you paid $1 million for season 1, they know it was $1 million. You're not going to go back and say, hey, we're just going to do this for 100,000. It might not be worth the money, but if you
Yeah.
combine these things together, this is how you end up with old cards inside of newer packs, like when you negotiate that deal. So that's exactly how I would do it if I was negotiating this thing. Because again, you could say, we're going to just sell this many of them, but our players need it. And with
Yeah.
that, that's how
Yeah.
you can squeeze in like that contract deal.
And I actually really like that, but I don't know how to explain it, but I guess it could devalue the old cards, which is what a lot of people don't want to see
Oh
with
yeah.
reprints. Because these, I feel like people would want them more than the original ones because there's some kind of special rarity that you can only get in a god pack. I don't know though. Maybe I mean the originals I guess are probably hold up pretty good, but
I
who
feel
knows?
I say it so that it's two ways, right? It slightly devalues because again, you're adding to the pool, whether it's the same art or not, you're adding
Yeah.
to the pool. But at the same time, people are still going to want to collect them, the people that own the original ones, and they're going to want to get these ones to put alongside them. Because how cool would that be to
Yeah.
have new art like beside the old art? And again, it completes your collection if you're a Symphogear fan.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. So
And
your opinion, how do you think of the way they did this? Do you like that they put them all in a single god pack, or would it have been cooler if they just slipped them in a few different boxes throughout the case? So they're all still guaranteed in a case, but instead of all being in one pack, they're just split up throughout the whole
I want
case.
it split because I want it split just because the whole mapping thing. I feel like it's better off to have them out there. You know, again, like we know from other card games that there is a specific slot, and we know that from Weiss,
Yeah.
right? That there's a rare slot that could be replaced with a double rare, SR, triple rare, you know, all of the different ones. I think having that fill in the slot or just take a slot of a uncommon, you know, like be right before an uncommon or before the rare, like take a
Yeah.
slot in the uncommon. I think that would be cool. How, you know, how shocking would that be? You're just going through, you're like commons, uncommons, there's nothing there. And then you actually have something there and then you have like a rare behind it or something like that. I
Yeah,
think
that would
that
be
would
really
actually
cool.
be really, really neat to have instead of just having one pack. And I know you said this, so you can go ahead about the whole weighing thing.
Oh yeah, so that yeah, that's a huge problem with this. I'm sure since people didn't know this was going to be in there, it probably wasn't as bad. But if they were to like broadcast this beforehand, you could definitely have people buying up a ton of these and weighing the packs because there's 8 foils plus an SP. That's going to be so much heavier than a regular pack. So they could go through these. You know, if you ever see loose packs for sale for this, there's no way you should ever be buying them because there's 0% chance you're getting a god pack.
Yeah, I wonder if that makes any sort of difference on the box itself too. Like, I get it, it's one pack out of like a box, maybe that like you're not gonna, if you have something super precise, right? You may be able to tell the difference between a box and a box. I don't know if that's possible.
Um,
If cardboard, you know, like if the cardboards all kind of weigh the same, like packaging and all that.
if the cards all weighed the same, you definitely would be able to. But actually, I think the reason that you had problems trying to, experiment with it was because some cards are actually just heavier because of the ink. If they have
Okay,
like certain things printed on them more, they'll be heavier or lighter, which will mess it up. But we're talking 8 foils,
that's what I mean. I'm like,
that's going to be so much heavier.
if you can make, if the boxes all weigh the same in general, like I'm talking about
Yeah.
literal cardboard and plastic, if they
Okay.
are pretty much exactly the same all the time, you might be able to tell a difference when it comes to this pack versus a different one. And I don't know if that's
Maybe.
true or not. If you get,
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. Someone's gonna, if you're able to, someone's gonna try to weigh it. And again, I
Yeah.
don't know if that's actually true. So I haven't
It
really
could be. I
boxed
mean,
it.
I've seen it in Pokemon. I saw one guy use like a micron scale to
Yeah, I mean,
check his packs. So, and it was
money's
like a,
money.
a
I'm like,
million dollar scale at his work that he used to
geez.
check his packs.
Well,
So,
yeah, I mean, if you have access, I would, I'm like, why not? Right?
yeah,
That's why we
yeah,
have it sitting in the corner. You might as well
true.
use it. So I think, you know, again, if what you said about non-broadcasting of this, even if it wasn't like, let's just say it's I can't think of any classroom of the elite. Like they come
Yeah,
out with a classroom of the elite and don't tell anybody there's God packs that exist in there. I think that's awesome. You know, because
yeah,
again, like we were talking about before, where let's put serial numbers on SRs, right? To make it more collectability, you know, it kind of gets rid of the mapping thing. I think
yeah,
the more collectability you add to packs, you know, the less chances that people are going to map it because they have other things to look forward to that they don't expect inside of a pack or a box or something like that. I think more is better when it comes to that. Not to say that you go the magic route and have like a collector's edition and everything's
yeah, yeah.
foiled and then have a regular edition.
I
Uh,
mean, isn't that what like extra boosters are for?
uh, somewhat, somewhat.
If you want shiny stuff, you go for those. But
Yeah,
I completely agree, man. I love this. I wish that they split them up between the whole case, but you know, it's a step in the right direction. I think the more collectability and the more like reason people could have to pull these cards later on, the better. Because I mean, a lot of these sets, like Sympho Gear too, I'm sure people were just opening it to get play sets. Some people want the SPs, but it's not like you're not going to go back in a year or 2 years and be excited to open your searched Symphogears, packs.
Yeah.
But if there's some crazy stuff in there like this, if someone does a case break in 1 year, people will be really excited. Be like, hey, wait a minute, someone in this break is going to be getting a god pack.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I mean. I'm like, I don't necessarily want to see it like, I don't even know how I feel about having it one per case, because I feel like it should be special. And again, like the reason why I say one per case is like, I don't mind if it averages out to that point, but I just don't want mapping. Like the
yeah,
mapping is where I kind of draw the, especially for something collector-y like this. If you want to say we need to map stuff or guarantee it because people need to get play sets, then fine. But these collector-y things, I feel like it should be spread that nobody has any
yeah,
clue about like the drop rate of it.
I completely agree, man. I feel like there should be someone's case out there has 10 SPs, but your case might have 0.
Yeah,
I like that so much better.
yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, okay, fine, guarantee the play set, but don't
Yeah,
guarantee like other stuff. That just makes it more of a collector's, make it more hard to get things, and that's what we
yeah,
want in the end, right? A solid collector community while playability exists still. So
yeah.
that's where I am.
And imagine you open a random booster box and you open it up and you get 2 different SPs in it in 2 different
Yeah, that'd
packs,
be awesome.
That would be so cool. Of course, the chance would be extremely low, but it could happen. Right now, the way it is, you pull an SP, you might as well throw away the other packs. You already know that there's nothing in there.
Yeah,
So
which is sad. So
these are
got
cool though. So take these secret rares, don't announce them, and then split them up throughout the case. That would be so cool. Imagine you're just opening up packs because you love the series and you're like, hey, wait a minute, what is this card? And it doesn't
yeah.
show on the card list because it's a secret rare and they didn't announce it. That's so cool.
Wouldn't that be actually neat? Like where like they just put a bunch of question marks in
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
There's just a question mark. You have no clue what it is. There'll be people saying like, "Oh, it's just Bushiroad, like another typo," but in all
yeah.
actuality, it's like something hidden, something rare.
That
So
yeah, that would be so cool, man.
that's what I
I
mean. I'm
just
like,
like them not even no question marks, just don't even say a word about it. Be like,
got
these are
that.
the cards. If you like them, buy them. Because then who's buying them? The people that like the set. They're not buying them for this lottery chase. So you're rewarding the people too that actually enjoy the
That
set.
might go the other way though. So I watch professional wrestling. So I
Yeah,
watch WWE and AEW. Um, I don't know. Do you watch any of that or know of any of it?
I know about it. I don't really watch it
Okay,
though.
so Sting from WCW, like old back in the day, he was making his debut whatever months ago on AEW, and after he made his debut, it was a total surprise. No one really knew about it. The TV executives yelled at them, and they're like, you didn't like the surprise? They're like, no, we want the ratings. You need to tell people that he's
Yeah,
coming because he's that big of a name that because that they didn't announce it ahead of time, they didn't get as many people as they could have should they have announced it. And it's like, that's what I mean. I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
it's almost like it's double edged where if they do enough surprises set after set, then people will probably catch on and be like, okay, so there's always going to be a surprise in here, so it might be worth buying. But like the first couple of times around, you may be actually hurting your sales because you don't. That's what I mean. It's weird kind of
yeah,
thought, and I don't know. I in the end, I still like the whole surprise. You might want to do it on a set that people don't really know about. Like if you did it on Magia record, which is what they did the serial numbers on, then that makes sense to me. Try it out on that one because people aren't going to care anyway, so you might as well just try it and see what happens. And then surprise the next one, surprise the next one, and maybe people will get the idea.
I think the opposite actually. I think that they should put that on like a really, really, really popular set that people will buy no matter what, because they don't have to advertise it. So they won't be losing any money on sales, but they'll kind of get that out there like, hey, look, we have secret stuff in our product, that and way more people would like this
Because
God pack. How many people are even talking about it? No one.
Yeah,
No one that I know of, and this is huge. I mean, this is pretty incredible. Imagine pulling one of those. That's got to be so great. And I haven't even heard anyone like
no,
post, "Hey, look, I got a God pack."
I haven't looked for videos of it, but like it's
There's probably none.
yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. I'm
So
like, that's like the big headline. If I go to YouTube and here you are again, TCG. But if I go like Pokemon God Pack or
oh yeah, you'll
okay, we
see
saw that God
hundreds.
Pack. How about MTG God Pack?
Yep.
All right, so what happens here? Weiss Schwarz. We haven't tried this, so does it happen? God packs do exist 2 years ago.
Bang Dream God pack, huh? So what is it? 1 SP?
I got one. Remember, oh, this is the one people were talking about that you get a whole bunch of SPs. I'm gonna go back to that. Uh,
I don't believe that.
let me see, last year. Wait.
Because that's only 3 weeks ago.
Mm, yeah, there's no such thing as God. Not really. Nope. 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 So that Bang Dream one, I think is it a Japanese pack? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a Japanese pack. I'm like, should I open mine? I got mine. Like,
You got a
I'm never
secret
gonna
God
open it.
pack.
So let's just go with that. I am never gonna open my Bang Dream.
Yeah.
It's going to sit there forever.
Is that the one that could have the bird cage in it?
No, it's Girls Band Party. I have that one too.
Oh. Oh, you have that one too?
I got them all. I got them all.
Oh,
I got
nice.
them all.
That's awesome, man.
I had to get it from the UK. That's where
Yeah.
it came from. So yeah, bird cage is inside that one, and it's never getting open. It no, that's multi-life. It's this one, Girls Band Party.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it for the crazy part is I forget. It was like 120, 125 or something like that. I can't
Nice.
imagine how much this thing costs now.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
oh man. Nope, it's gonna sit there forever. But yeah, no, I got them all. So Morfonica is coming up at should be end of October. It's not announced yet,
Yeah.
the release date, but it should be end of October. So I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of them.
So actually now that you brought this up about the YouTube, you're right. There's nothing there. If the way it is right now, you pull an SP and then the whole everything else is boring. If they slip some of these like secret things in there, like special rarities, god packs, all that, it would be so much more exciting to watch because right now, the only things I've watched, I mean, I've seen people post them. You're either watching someone pull an SP or you're watching them open a whole case. That's it.
Yep,
You know,
that's
because if they
exactly
don't
it.
pull an SP, if they pull it just one SR, that video is getting deleted. You know, why would you be posting that? So
Yeah.
if they put all these secret things in, I mean, the more exposure, the better. You know, if I came across a random YouTube video and someone's like, "Oh man, a God pack," I'm clicking on it no matter what the card game is. You know, because I just want to check it out.
That's exactly it. It needs a little more because we already know what's inside of this box. And if it's not anything special, it's just an ordinary opening and it's not very fun.
Yeah.
So unless you do what I do and eat disgusting jelly beans. So just
So
not
yeah, I mean, the whole God pack thing though, I do see a lot of different layers to this. I think it's good for the hobby in general. The fact that this even exists, it's really cool, and I'm very excited to see that. You know, I'm not gonna open up any Sympho gear because I don't even know what that is, but this is cool, man.
yeah. The thing is though, when's it gonna show up in English? If it ever shows up in English.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
that's the hard part because it's like, they're trying out different things. We know that they trying out serial numbers, but they do have collector packs for Bang Dream, but we didn't get those collector packs here. So that's what I mean.
Yeah,
The JP side gets so many experimental things where we really haven't seen much. So even though the God pack thing is cool, it's like
yeah,
just make sure to bring it over here to us. How about that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for
They
sure.
have so many good like different trials again, like what we said with the serial numbers with God packs here. Like there's so many things that they can do. It just hasn't happened yet.
What they need to do is do their God Pack trial run on Data Bullet after I buy 2 cases. Put it
Data bullet.
yeah, there's gonna be one God Pack that has all the SPs and OFRs in one pack. That's what they should be
Alright.
doing.
Are we going there? Okay, hold on. The Weiss.
You have Zoom in the front.
Yeah. I need Weiss Schwarz product page. I do. I just need to get to this site and then we'll get here. Okay, so here we are. We're on the product page. And again, what normally happens here is, let me just go back. We're gonna take a walk back in time, and Mob Psycho, I believe, was December. Let me just make sure of that. Mob Psycho December, Adventure Time was November. And as we know, these were English exclusives in a way, right? And what that tells me then is, what do you think is going to happen at the end of this year? So right now, we are booked from, this is beginning of October. That's why I said this will be end of October. So we have 2 coming out. If we see, do you think we're gonna see Data Bullet? Now that you said Data Bullet, are we gonna see it this year?
I'm not an expert on when Weiss sets come out, man, so I have no clue. I've only been watching since like 7 Deadly Sins, so
Okay.
I don't really have much experience on that, but I really hope it comes this year.
I can go further back. This was, I want to see when these were real. What's wrong with this page? I am on the English site, which is, wait, what? I don't know. Something happened there.
Yeah, that's
I just want
weird.
to see what December 2019 looked like. Okay. Or maybe they didn't do yearlies. Okay, now I'm gonna move you. By the way, if you haven't seen this thing's pretty nice. November 2018. So they had an exclusive expo set come out. So that's what I mean. They try different things, but it's not like they're consistent across the board. Where
Do you have those cards? They're pretty cheap, man. I saw them.
I know where you can get a set for 100.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap and
That's
they
what
look
I was.
cool.
Well, depending on where you look, TCG player, I think some guy has it up for 500. So
Hey, good luck to him.
it's kind of nuts. Okay, so end of year we had ReZero and we had that's crazy. Like if you looked at this, you had this and then you had this Konosuba. That 2018, 2019 had to be a fun time. I wish I
Yeah,
was there
yeah,
for it.
me too.
I wish I was there. So, again, I don't know. So what I'm trying to say is I don't know if we get a double English exclusive year or not, because what we had with Adventure Time and Mob Psycho, you did to end out that year. So most likely you're going to have a shot at Data Bullet if they shove it out in November. I feel like
So the thing I'm wondering is both of those sets when they came out, didn't they kind of fall flat?
yeah,
I could
they're
see them just cutting down to 1
terrible.
because they obviously weren't popular. I'm sure they didn't sell
No,
as much as like obviously the
that,
huge ones like Konosuba and they sold a ton of, but they see these like, hey, wait a minute, these English sets aren't doing very well,
and
you
you know
know?
how you can tell? This is a Adventure Time Reddit. I am not joking. So as part of my research, I don't know if people believe me or not, but when I said I've been watching this stuff for a year, I watched it for a year. I don't know how. Okay, I don't know how to pull it up. So inside of here, I know you can search for Adventure Time.
Yeah, just
I
go
get
our Adventure Time and then type
R
in Weiss after it.
I can do it on my phone. You don't have to do that on your phone. Okay, and then Weiss, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that should come up.
Nope,
Oh.
it does not work. So yeah, no, on my phone, I'm able to search it a lot easier. I have no idea
Yeah, it's
why
weird
this
like
isn't
that.
working here. But if you do that, if you go Adventure Time and
Wait,
Weiss,
hold on. Just type in Weiss. Go back to that page. Because it says show results from Adventure Time. Do you see that? Right under best
uh,
results. So click on that and then just type in Weiss. Yeah, just
nope,
type
doesn't
in.
come up.
Oh, really?
I will tell
Yeah, that's
you
weird.
that there was a posting on there. Someone posted about how Adventure Time was coming out there. And if you let me just go back. Here's my proof. Adventure Time has 322,000 members. And at that time there was like there was more than 715, but right now it's
Yeah.
715 online. And not to say, yeah, they're all just staring at this, but you could see like there is no 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago. It's a pretty active forum.
Yeah.
When someone put out there that Wise is coming to Adventure Time, it got like 10 upvotes. And and then someone else did it. And then same thing. No one, people could care less on this.
Yeah.
And even there was even one for when Weiss was actually doing a giveaway. If you look on their Facebook, they were doing a giveaway for Adventure Time for I think a supply set. And they posted that inside of this Adventure Time Reddit. And they got like nothing.
Wow. Wow.
Nobody cared about it. And that's what I mean. Like for such an active forum that actually have cards that were Adventure
Yeah.
Time and nobody actually caring about it, it is amazing.
I mean, it's the wrong target market by far.
Yeah, there
It's
is,
not to say that English exclusives are bad, but that is not where you want to be aiming your cards at,
and that's what I
in
mean.
my
I'm like,
opinion.
who is doing this kind of gathering of, and that's what I meant, forecasting demand. Like,
Yeah.
so I did that video about forecasting demand, which I need to finish, actually give my suggestions, but whoever is doing this has no idea like what people that play cards, uh, the cartoons or whatever that you need to introduce to them to get them in the wise. They have no freaking clue.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. I mean, if you couldn't get a whole group of people that love it and talk about it still,
Yeah.
hour after hour to like it, then you're never going to sell them products. But again, it's actually a good set, which is
Yeah.
actually the sad part. It's a good set to play with. People had a lot of good luck with against Data Live with it.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's not like you're always going to be playing Data Live, so it's not going to hold up against some other things. But it's a good set overall. But that's the bad part is yeah, no, people didn't care. I mean, it's going to be impossible to find some of this product,
Yeah.
but that's just how Vice is, right? Good, bad. It's going to be eventually gone.
Actually, so all this came from speculation about Data Bullet. I feel like it's too soon. Wouldn't that, because isn't Data Live extremely powerful in the English meta right now? Adding more support to it seems kind of overpowered.
We'll see. We'll see what happens when
Yeah,
Kaguya comes out. I think
true.
Kaguya will be able to would be able to put up a good fight against Data Live. I think that would be okay. But if I want to well, is it a good time or a bad time? If it was me personally, I probably would put out Data Bullet next year. If
Yeah.
I was the guy working at Bushiroad that gets to pick the schedule, I'd put it out next year. More because one of the reasons why people didn't buy Data Live when they wanted to was because it came out, pre-orders for it came out in December,
Yeah.
which normally is not a good time of year for most people, especially when it was the pandemic. But
Yeah.
this year, I know we're all coming out of it, but at the same time, if you were to put Data Bullet out towards the end of the year, I don't know how that's going to actually, it's going to sell,
I
but
think
at the same
starting,
time, I would want to I would make it a superstar. I would put it out like a
yeah,
different time.
I think if they do like October, November, that's the best time to announce it or start pre-orders, that's when at least from other markets that I watch, that's usually the months where they're the highest sales for every card game that I've been watching.
Wait, what month?
October and November.
Oh yeah, those are already booked up. So,
Yeah. No, I'm not saying to come out. I'm saying that's when you should start pre-ordering.
oh, because it'll come out.
It'll come out when people have money.
That'll be, if you do it October, then that would be February, right? Am I doing my math right? Yeah, February, March. And March was when Data Live came out.
Really?
Wait, no, you said October, November. No, January, February is when things would be coming out then. What was that? That was a Fate Grand Order. Well, you might be on to something. So the other reason why I wouldn't put it out at the end of the year, it's more on what type of product it is.
Yeah,
And let me see. Hold on, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second.
sure.
Okay, now I will start sharing again. Okay, so this is my release schedule that I was creating. This was to guess at when Data Live was coming out, and also guess at when hey, look at that. Oh, I put Raz, I flipped them. I put
Yeah.
10-1, so it was the other way around. But even then, I kind of felt like that's what was going to happen. 10-1, look at that. Got it. 10-1, and then, so really it's actually,
Was that just announced? I haven't seen that yet, Morfonica.
now then, well, we knew it was coming, but we don't know when. This
Okay.
is my guessing. Like before this all happened. This is a SA. Oh, slime was here. Wait, which did I have?
Yeah, you have slime before
Oh
SAO.
no. SAO. Azization. Yeah. So I had that. So yeah, I just had these two backwards. I had them flipped. But yeah, that's actually kind of, yeah, that makes sense. All right, so as you see here from this chart, re-zero here is an extra booster.
Yep.
So again, like they're able to wedge this sucker in because they have a booster box, then extra booster. So what I'm trying to say is at the end of the year, what they had before was Mob Psycho and Adventure Time. Each one of them had trial decks, mobs, and actually they had supply sets too. They had like the full deal.
I
And
got you.
again,
So what you're saying is that they put out way too many different products at once.
no, they can only print so many things, right?
Yeah.
So this happened all in November, these three things. And
Yeah.
then Mob Psycho had three different offerings at December. So they can only print so much. And this is how I came to the schedule anyways, and how I landed Data Live would be in July,
Yeah.
was because if you take a look at the schedule, you're like, okay, well, where are they going to put this thing in that will allow their printers to actually run? So that's
Yeah.
why I was like, I knew they were going to shove this one on like 924 or 10-1. So what I mean is, if we go and say they're going to print an exclusive set at the end of the year, you're definitely not going to be able to wedge Data Bullet in, even though it's an extra booster, because what's going to
Yeah.
happen is they're going to have three things for that thing to come out. You're going to then possibly, if they're not going to do another English exclusive for November, you're gonna have some kind of booster box. And again, I don't think that they're gonna put an extra booster here because that doesn't give them enough time, right? Because Morfonica and Raz will happen 10/22 or 10/29. They're not going to be able to do a double release in November. It's just too close, because what it'll be then is, if you see the calendar,
Yep.
the
So they
best they can do is 10, 11, November 12th, but then they're gonna have to sacrifice like this end of the month one. So November is too booked because of what happened in October. And December is gonna be too booked because they're gonna print 3 things out. So I don't see Data Bullet coming out because logistically, they can't handle it. There's no way they'd be able to do it unless there's more printers or something available.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a single release November, single release December. So you're gonna be, and like you said, if the pre-orders, so maybe it'll be like a February thing. Maybe February thing is extra booster month, like they did with ReZero. So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. That'd be pretty
best you
cool.
get is a Data Bullet.
You really think that'll be the next extra booster to come though? You don't think there'll be anything in between?
Mm,
I don't know what
oh,
gets
this one
extras.
is an extra booster. That's how they're able to get away
Oh,
with. Yeah, it's an extra booster and a trial deck.
oh, that's kind of weird to me, I feel like.
Yeah, here
Do
it
they
is.
normally do a trial deck with extras? I thought extra was like its own thing.
Yeah, I don't know the whole history, but yeah, they don't normally do that. But since it's Bang Dream, everything's on, everything's available for them.
So you're going big, huh?
They're
Definitely.
going no, for these, probably not.
No?
No, I
Oh,
don't
I
think
thought you
so.
liked Bang Dream a lot.
No, I like Bang Dream, but it's one of those ones where I love Morfonica and I actually like both of these bands. So, but at the same time, one's an extra booster, which there's only so many cards that you need to collect in the extra booster, and this
Yeah.
one's just a trial deck. So at most, I'm only buying, when I say only, I'm at least buying 8 extra boosters. Because again, like I can get it. I mean, I don't even know where you put extra boosters. Like literally put extra boosters, unless there is something special inside of this, then I'll consider that.
Well, don't they normally have like 3, 4 SPs?
They do. They should have one of each band member in that one. So
Okay.
you're gonna be looking at um
One of each band member?
yeah, as SPs. So actually maybe there's like 10 of them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean where's JK? Yeah, no, they always go nuts when it comes to Bang Dream. Like, I mean, let's go with one of the newer ones. Yeah, see, they got like a million signatures. So you're gonna be looking at
So do
possibly
they have
like,
higher, much higher pull rates then?
yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. When it comes to like,
Well, no, I'm saying that
yeah,
as a good thing. I don't think it's bad. I think it's a very good thing.
no, it's a good thing because if not, you're just screwed. But
Yeah, you'd have to buy like 10 cases to get just the set.
yeah, no, it's good. But yeah, I don't know. Like for me, I feel like if I just buy enough, I'm good with it because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have no chance of collecting all of them. Like this was
yeah.
just this one. Like if I even attempt to go, this is the one we were talking about, the Yukina. Look at this. It's freaking nuts. And these are
Wow.
SSPs. Like you're just, and then here's SPs. So I think I've gotten to the point where I know there's no way I'm getting
Oh,
them
and
all.
also a special rarity one?
Yeah. Yes. That's what I mean. Bang
That's
Dream just
nuts.
is, it just keeps on giving, right?
That
Like
is nuts.
it is never going to happen. And that's what I mean. I'm like, I'm only gonna buy a couple because I haven't gotten all the other ones. So it's not like I have a need
Yeah.
to make myself go
I'm
get it.
surprised that we haven't seen any flexers with their max rarity Bang Dream.
I think it's too hard. It's too hard. And then yeah, with more Phonica, I'll probably buy like at least 2 boxes of trial decks. I have one of
Nice.
each trial, like each display box, for the cool look, and then I have like 1 or 2 trial decks. But
Yeah.
same thing with this one. I like more Phonica, so yeah, that's where I
Nice.
stand on it. I don't want to overspend on something that,
Yeah, yeah.
because
That there's
these
just too
are
many of them.
these are actually the weaker of the bands, I think, and popularity wise. Like for
Okay.
me, I love them. I like these too, but since there's whatever amount of bands in the
Yeah.
series now, everybody has their different ones, and they didn't do very well in, because Bang Dream, which one was it that has Raz in it? I don't think it was. I think it was season 2. This one.
Man, I thought Love Live had a lot of signs.
Yeah, see, it was this one where, and I don't, this didn't do very well. This is one
Oh,
of those
okay.
ones that got bought out as part of a Mob Psycho and like the big buyouts of the last few months. There was so
Okay.
many boxes of this that people, that was one of the ones that got scooped up by investors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's what I mean. I can't imagine how this is going to be any different than
Yeah.
that. So I'm not gonna, even though I love them, I don't see humongous potential unless they got some crazy cards in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where we are. Where were we? How do we get here?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a pretty deep rabbit hole.
Yeah. We went, because we were trying to figure out when data bullet. You're thinking
Oh,
about
yeah.
data bullet. So
Oh, yeah.
again, potentially for me, if I had to guess data bullets release, it would be February. If they're
I
going
hope
that
so.
route.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I really like that Kurumi in there with the clock behind her. It looks so good, man.
Yeah. Yep. And are you a queen? Do you like queen or not really?
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, but Kurumi, that one and the one with both of them, that climax that has both of them on the same card. That one's pretty cool too.
Did you see Data Bullet? Did you watch it?
Nope.
Oh man, it was good. It was sad. Like
Really?
something Kurumi does in there just is kind of sad.
Yeah,
So,
I need to get to it, man. I keep putting it off, but
no, it's good. I know someone had it on Facebook. Like they have a video of it on Facebook.
oh, okay.
I don't know if I have it anymore, but that's
Yeah.
where I saw it. I shouldn't say those things because I actually want to buy the majority of the things anime. I don't like watching things where I don't stream it or buy it myself.
Yeah, yeah.
But I had to see Data Bullet, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Data
Yeah,
Live.
they made plenty of money.
Okay, all right. um Good. I don't know where we were, but we were. Do you want to talk about that then? Print to order. What do you think about Bushiroad's stance on printing to order?
I personally think it's terrible, but I see why they do it, especially this is such a weird game, so it's hard to compare it to other games because like you said in one of your videos, I think, you said that with these sets, they don't know if 10% of the players are going to buy it or if 75% of the players want it because there's something in there that's really good that they didn't expect, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, it is good that they have the Japanese as kind of like they can look at that first and be like, "Hey, wait a minute, this we sold way more than we normally do in Japanese, so maybe the English is probably going to do pretty good too." But also, maybe those people bought the Japanese already, so they don't want the English. It's so tough, man. It's really tough to tell.
that's what I mean.
Um,
I'm like, it comes down to forecasting. It's insane. Like so,
yeah.
I mean, I know you said that like you heard my opinions. Do you have any of, not to say you don't have your own opinions,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
do you have anything else that I didn't say um about like the whole print to order?
Yeah, so for me,
Yeah,
yeah, so for me, printing to pre-order is it's great because some of the stuff I'm investing in is sealed cases, and I don't mind hanging on to these things for years. You know, I can hold on to them for a year, 2 years, 3 years. I'm not buying this on credit. I don't care if it goes up now. So for me, it's good. You know, it's great. But for a player, for a collector, for the average person, it's not good. You need to like some people are to me this data live is not a reprint. Everyone calls it a reprint, but to me it's like a second wave. That's why I've never called it a reprint. I just call it a second wave is because when something's popular in other games, they print more of it. They're not going back 4 years to print Konosuba. That's a reprint, you know. When they're printing more because there wasn't enough, it's not a reprint to me. I know in English it's very unheard of for that to happen, but
yeah.
So I wish they would do more of these waves, second wave, even third wave, like Japanese, if something's so popular, because like with Beaufry, this set just came out. These SPs should not be $800. If you're paying that and you're happy, good for you, but they shouldn't be that much. If someone's coming into this game, like I know it's a huge meme on Facebook about, oh
Yeah.
man, Weiss is so expensive to play, but it shouldn't
Wow.
be. You should be able to build a deck, in my opinion, a meta deck for 50 to $100. That is it. Just because a set was underprinted, if someone loves Beaufry, they can't play it. I mean, I know that you did that like double R thing. It is kind of
Yeah.
cheap to get into it, but you should be able to get into these decks for cheap. And if you can't, it wasn't printed enough and they need to print more. So, but the more they underprint, if I have a case of it, don't print
Yeah. The
more.
better off you are.
you know, so it's tough, but I want to see the health of the game improve as well, because that'll also make these cards go up. So
I'm the other way because I think they did print enough. It's things where we think that like the SPs are high, but if you take again, like the whole reason why I do the double rare thing is because people tell me all the time where this game is really expensive. I'm not saying it isn't, because I
yeah,
don't think years ago I'd be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna drop $300 a month on a playset. That's just insane. Like, who has $300 to just blow on cards? And I don't even know how many times you're gonna play it. I know people play it a lot, and that's why people don't buy every month, right? They don't buy because you don't have just $300 to blow every time. And again, why I say it's printed enough, because look what happened with Data Live, right? So you have a second wave, but we have Beaufry selling out. We have Kaguya that's about to sell out. But how many of those sets are gonna be demanded for a reprint? Like, you don't hear anything, right? Even Magia Record, it's basically almost sold out. Um, you have sets that are gone, but you don't have enough players to say, hey, let me buy it. It's not enough. Like, we just have a problem with players. So even though these things cost a lot, if they were to print it, they're just going to lose money because nobody's going to want to buy it. Like, if a shop goes and buys that second wave, or if they just print 20% over more, stores are not going to buy it, and Bushiroad's going to have to throw it into a warehouse. I mean, that's the only way I see out of this right now,
yeah,
because people
yeah,
are like, let's reprint, and I'm like, well, if the store is not going to pick it up because there's not enough people wanting to buy it, then Bushiroad needs to print more and store it in a warehouse, and then just be like, oh, we found some and you want it, so here you go. That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
only way, and I don't think they're going to do that. And I don't even know if licensing will let them. Like, can they just print like 20% extra, throw it in a warehouse, and then just magically sell it to distributors or people and be like, is that actually allowed? I don't know the whole licensing is to that.
Yeah, it is tough because for me though, you're right. They shouldn't be allowed to print it as long as they want, but the way it is right now, if I just came into Weiss 1 month ago and I'm like, oh, cool, Beaufry's coming out next month, and I'm like, I message on Facebook, hey, how do I get Beaufry? Oh, you want Beaufry? You can't have it.
You're done.
What do you mean I can't have it? I'm new to Weiss. It comes out next month. Well, that's too bad. You should have pre-ordered it 3 months ago.
Yeah.
That is not healthy for a game like this. Like Pokemon, when it comes out on release day, you're not getting it. Everyone knows that because it's people are buying it out. But they know more is coming. So yeah, you missed out on release day, which is the same as Beaufry, but the only thing is there's no chance of you getting it again, unless you
Yeah,
want to pay up.
when it comes to sealed, but then it's like over, like what we saw, it's down what, 47% now
Yeah, but
from
that's
where it first came out. So that's what I mean. Like, and that's the whole point of that tracker. Everything that I've run into, again, even though those cards are expensive overall, like I said, it's like if you want a deck, maybe it's like 100, 150. Like, depending on the type of deck,
yeah.
you can make a budget one with Boat Free now for like 50, $60. So you can do it. But
So for me, the thing is, I do agree that yeah, you're right. Over time, it'll be a little bit cheaper for the people playing, but when I get into a new card game, the first thing I'm buying is sealed boxes to open for fun.
Yep.
I do not care about the game. I don't care about the cards. I don't care about what is. I want to open it and have fun with that experience. And then if I have a good time, even if I don't pull anything, I open them up. Like my first booster box, I opened a Japanese Fujimi box, right?
Uh-huh.
I got nothing, but I went through it and I looked at each card, it was just great getting into that, that feeling of opening a box, seeing all brand new stuff. You don't get that feeling by buying a $2 card on TCG Player,
Yep.
it's
I want it. And that's what I mean, like where some people like again, it depends on where you are or your perspective, but like for me, if I miss a set, it sucks, but I'm not going to think too much about it. Like I figure there's going to be more coming. Where I know there's some people that are going to take it harshly, where, again, like you said, if they wanted both reasons not there, they just give up entirely on the thing. But for me, from what I know from past games, I'm like, I'm okay with it. I accept it. It's like, well, I missed the boat. And I either cough up the extra money or not. It's
yeah.
people's viewpoints, I guess. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like the hard part when it comes to this is like, I haven't heard one solution yet that works for both player and for company. And in the end, coming from like having like a perspective of a company like my company that I work for, they're gonna think about dollars before they think about random 1% player that
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere. Because again, like Weiss Schwarz is growing in English, but those people that casually walk in late, it's not a huge number, and eventually they'll find a set that they'll like. I mean, yeah, there'll be a little bit of sadness, but that's when you grow up later. I'm not saying grow up, like when you get further in life, when you make more money, you go back and buy those cards because that's where the whole nostalgia thing kicks in, right? Because some people couldn't afford a Black Lotus or they couldn't
Yeah.
afford a Charizard. But then when they get money later in life, they're like, you know what? I'm gonna buy that. It's about time. I always wanted it and I get it. So same with this Beaufry thing. It's one of those ones where you need to satisfy this desire now, or can you put it off? And I'm one of those ones that can put it off. But
Okay, well, what about this as a solution? So what if they got one collaboration set with a few different animes that a lot of people like, just mainstream stuff, like maybe toss in some trash Mob Psycho, toss in like everything. They just put in stuff that random people will like, and this set, they'll print it forever. That's it. That whatever the demand is, they'll keep printing it forever. If someone goes into the store, they go into their game store, they're like, "Hey, what's this game? Oh, it's Weiss Schwarz. Check out this, everything set. We got 20 different animes. You like any of them? Maybe you pull those cards. Put in a bunch of random foils, SPs, whatever, and just keep printing it forever. Those cards will be worth nothing, but you still get the enjoyment of opening it. And maybe it's like an extra booster, so the stores don't have to invest too much money into them.
yeah, even then you'll hit the licensing part.
You think?
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
how it works. Yeah, I mean,
No,
I
yeah,
just don't know
you'll
how it
hit
works.
licensing because you're only able to do like Fujimi and Sneaker Bunko and Key because they're all like the same kind of thing. Can
Yeah,
you imagine having like different ones all together like that? That's
yeah,
gonna be a nightmare. Like if you were saying that, if we looked at that release schedule again and saying you could put Data Live, all the top ones from 2020 and jam them together, maybe, but then you have to work with different companies, and maybe company A doesn't want to work with company B or have their products like associated with it. When you have Key and all that,
yeah.
it's the same
That's
one.
true.
So that's what I mean. I haven't seen a valid, not to say valid, everybody's opinion is valid. I haven't
Yeah,
seen an
yeah.
actual
Like
compromise
realistic.
between the two places that'll work for everybody. And again, like your job is way more important than player A's happiness. You just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just the way it is now, though, is that
yeah,
the the stores, your LGS, whoever's selling these products, if they want it to be more available to the players or new people, they have to shoulder all the risk. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
There's no risk on Bushiroad. They don't care that, oh, you guys ordered 1,000, we'll print 1,010. you know?
Yeah.
So they're not taking on any risk at all, which I get is what you want for a business. But if you want your game to grow, you can't, these stores aren't going to take on that risk for you to make more money
Oh
later
yeah,
on.
no, that's
You
no
know,
doubt.
it's
Like
so
my beef with Bushiroad is pretty high from everything that I've seen at this point. That was one of the videos I'm going to eventually make,
yeah.
um, especially with the forecasting demand. They could care. I don't want to use that word. Um, they need to do more for their local game stores is how I will phrase it from what I've seen at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely not good. I mean, those undercutters, the people on Facebook and all that, they're even worse. Like if you want to say Bushiroad's not doing enough, it's these people too that are literally killing um gameplay. So
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that personally. That's if you want to make $1 a box, that's fine. That's your own, you know.
yeah, but that's what I mean. I'm like, remember where you said our Bushiroad isn't shouldering the risk? So now you have an LGS that only makes so much money,
Yeah.
but if they can't even sell the amount of boxes,
Oh yeah, no.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
mean. It's
Okay.
like it's horrible. Like all these things, the
I
LGS is
I completely agree with that
yeah,
part, but what I'm saying is maybe if Bushiroad prints extra product, because the way it works right now, these stores have to put in their orders and they have to make sure like, oh man, I have to make sure I get enough. So maybe I'm gonna order 20 cases.
yeah,
They have trouble selling those, they're done for. That's a lot of money to be put out on product that won't sell. But if they order like 5 cases, like, hey, maybe let me just get 5, test it out, see what happens. They sell out immediately. They now have nothing left, and they can't hit up Bushiroad like, "Hey, I need 5 more cases." They can't talk to their distributor. I need 5 more cases because there's just none extra. You know, it's
yeah.
so they wouldn't have to take on that kind of risk if there was just some extra product. Like I get that they don't want to be stuck with it, but you're not going to be stuck with it for more than 6 months unless it's the worst set that no one in the world wants. You know,
Yeah.
like every single set that I've been watching is gone. You can't buy it. You cannot buy it for $65 a box. It doesn't matter if Rudy bought them all. It doesn't matter if some random guy on the street that thinks he's a genius investor bought them all. Someone bought them all. There's none left, you know? So what really is the risk by printing 10, 20% more than you originally were going to, you know?
I think it's because I think right now there's a slowdown. So even though these are all being bought up, to me, what I'm seeing is it's not going to be this way. So I've said before, well, actually I haven't. I kind of alluded to it. I can guarantee in 3 months we're gonna see something, 2 to 3 months, we're gonna see something interesting when it comes to demand and sellouts because I saw what you saw, but I'm seeing something different. Like when it comes to actual buying of boxes, it's not it's getting longer. It's longer and longer to sell out on these products. So um, anybody even then, I'm seeing some of the Facebook undercutters
Yeah.
like they're having it's a longer and longer amount of time for them to actually get rid of things. It's all selling out eventually, but it's not selling out as fast as it did. And that's following along with Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. So there's kind of a risk to printing more and all that because I don't think Bushiroad's going to be able to sell as much as they were up until a couple months ago.
What do you mean they're having trouble selling out though? These boxes are gone before the release date.
Oh yeah, but
Like it might take them a while to sell all their pre-orders, but they're gone before the product is even out.
yeah, but when you think about it, it's like if people were buying out like let's not use data live, but if I look at Bofree or Kaguya, like so there was a point in time where these things would start disappearing about 6 weeks before release date. Kaguya, it's about 2.5 to 3 weeks before it's sold out. And now you have Seven Deadly Sins, which is still available. Um, the place where I buy from, they start out with an initial like low price. And then they will raise it up as more and more people buy it until it gets closer to release or sells out. Fate's Day Night, Heaven's Feel 2 has been there for months, and that price has not changed. People are not buying this thing, even though some websites are selling out, but that's just because people are going there. I can tell you for sure that the amount of product that is actually selling has been slowly decreasing week by week. That even though it's been a huge sellout lately, it's going to sell out before release. It's just taking a longer amount of time, and it has nothing to do with the amount of printing. It's the demand. The demand is dying. So and that was my point. The investor like community that's been looking at Weiss or any of these other games have been dying down, and Weiss never really had that investor surge that all the other games, no matter what anybody will tell you.
Yeah.
Because you can point out examples of SPs and double rares. I can point out examples of SPs and double rares that haven't all moved up.
You can
Again,
still buy a ton of them for $20.
yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, that thing doesn't exist. So that's my point. Like, even though they are able to sell out before release, that is definitely declining. Like, you're going to get to a point where there is going to be a set that is most likely not going to sell out before release. And I think that day is coming soon. So, well, I mean, I could be wrong, I could be right, but if I'm right on it, then it's going to look ugly coming up. So that's how I'm gonna phrase it. Like, I don't want to say more because this is an experiment for me to see what happens, but that's my true thought. I don't think Weiss in general had that humongous investor following that people think they did. It was a lot of
Yeah.
people. My thought was there was a lot of people that had hoped that was already in Weiss that everything would shoot up because they were going to cash in, or they were going to use this time to buy up all the SPs that they needed that they never got. And unfortunately, like, it's not that way, because again, I could point to many SPs that are out there that haven't gone up, and that's not it, because I could have easily told everybody or targeted each one of them down and bought them all up. But it's not that way. So going back to the point is, I think there is a huge risk for Bushy. My personal opinion is there is a huge risk to them to increase sizably the amount of printing, because eventually stores won't be able to handle it, and there's not going to be enough people to buy it, especially with the sets coming up.
Yeah. I mean, when I think about it though, it's cardboard, how much are they really risking by printing 10% over the pre-order amount? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, yeah, part of it's storage, but then it's like, if the LGS gets, or the sellers get too cocky, this is what happens every time, right? Like, even with
Yeah.
Magic, they buy too much of it. That's the end of the store. They're not going to carry it anymore. Like, right now, you have
Yeah.
LGSs that say, I'm not going to carry it because I don't think I'm going to sell out of it.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it's just scary. And that's what I mean. From watching it all this time, I think people have gotten to the point where they think every set's going to go up or sell out or something like that, when in reality it's not, and that day is coming soon. Like, that I'm either going to be proven right or wrong, but it's definitely coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so
Okay.
yeah, for me, pre-order format, it's what they have to do. It's not what they want to do at all. Obviously, they want to pull what they do in the Japanese format, but they're not able to do that in English. And I think they know that, and which is why they need to get better at knowing their customer. The huge problem here with them and the print to or demand, they don't know their customer. They have no freaking clue what their customer is, and they have no idea who's selling their product. Did you know people can actually buy straight from the distributor?
Yeah.
Yeah, for Weiss product.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how many other games do you know that actually do that? Like the big games? Like you
A
don't buy
lot of,
this
then
shit.
you'd be surprised, man. There's a lot of
Well, but
shady distributors. I know
no,
a
I know, but
couple.
like this is like you actually have distributors competing with LG. Well, like when you have like Magic or Pokemon, yeah, you could possibly get it from them, but that's not that broad of an issue.
Yeah,
But when you have an LGS that's supposed to support the game and tournaments and all that, and
yeah, yeah,
you're competing against a distributor and a Facebook seller and all that, that's what's really killing this game. If they can figure out the LGS problem, you're definitely going to get rid of the print to demand thing. Because that's the
yeah,
problem. You need more players. That's why something like Bofree is so cheap because you don't
yeah,
have enough players.
yeah. And that's tough because you're right. That's a double-edged sword. One, they can't print too much because they. But at the same time, if they don't print enough, how are you going to get more players if they can't even get these boxes? That's
Yeah.
tough.
Well, then
That is
that's what I
tough.
mean. That's Bushy's problem. Not like what I mean is it is literally their problem because they haven't addressed the concerns of the LGS. And that's what I mean like before
Yeah,
when I said it's partially their problem. It's because they haven't addressed the needs of the LGS. You haven't cleaned up this whole distributor thing. You haven't um, incentivized uh, people buying from an LGS over a random guy on Facebook. You don't have enough events. Someone was actually telling me there was actually someone that wrote back on me when I was saying that this is more collector community than a player community. And I pointed to, did you watch the spring tournaments that they just had?
no.
Yeah, no. And I'm like, we know from watching actual card, I mean, I don't watch a lot of card tournaments, but even just like YouTube videos or anything, you only get a certain amount of people to watch it live. I think there was times where I've seen maybe like 300 people watch it, Weiss maybe like 500, but even then it's a small percent. Like,
Yeah,
but you can multiply and figure out the number. So there's way more people buying this thing and not playing because again, you don't even have an LGS to play at. They actually
yeah.
had a Weiss week sometime earlier in the year. It was on Discord. Are you on their Discord?
No.
They it was a live event with staff that you play games with. I was there for it. There was
Oh,
12
nice.
people. There was 12.
Oh, not nice.
12. 12. And this guy is telling me how like there's an active player base and all that. Like we all
Yeah.
know that community engagement is huge when it comes to actually having players. And that tournament, do you know what the prize was?
What?
Let me see if I can bring it up quick. It's stupid. It's stupid. It was basically worthless tournaments. Just more proof that how do I get to spring? I don't know if I can bring it up. I don't know where it is. It might just be on the Bushiroad site. But
Okay.
basically what they had was it was a booster box of uh 7 deadly sins in like a supply set where like card fight Vanguard, they got actual promo like cards, like where it was stamped with like winner or championship or tournament,
Yeah.
whatever the heck it was. Like Weiss Schwarz did not get any special card. It's like here's your booster box, and here's your second place gets a $30 supply set. Here you go. Here's your supply set. That's how bad it was. Like
Wow.
that's what they gave them.
Yeah.
Where that the card, the tournament card would have been, if you were to sell that now, you can imagine how much the price would be. Like
Yeah.
it's zero effort. So printed to demand again is I think is horrible, but at this point I don't see any way around it. Like
Yeah.
at
Gotcha.
this, but no, I mean I'm with you. If they like to me, if they can print 10 to 20, shove it into a warehouse, if they're allowed to do this and sell it
Yeah.
later on, I have no issues with that. But again, I don't know what the licensing says on that. Like, is it merely they just have to print it or they actually have to sell it?
Yeah,
um,
true.
to get rid of it. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess it just would all be speculation because we have no clue what
We
their
have no
contracts
idea.
are. They could only have like a 1 month gap where you can print and sell these in this 1 month. If you want it again, like maybe Data Live, they had to pay for it again. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know.
No, I feel like they're able to print within a year,
You think?
but my thing is there's not enough demand for it. And that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Even though, and it sounds weird, but even though both were sold out, right? There's not enough people that they can go, okay, let's restart the printing presses, right? Because to restart it, like I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever heard Rudy talk about like printers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, you just don't call them up and they can just turn on their computer and just press a button and it just shoots out things, right? There's sheets, you have to set up all this stuff, have the materials, and there's just not enough of that to make it worth it. So that's what I mean. It's kind of sad. I mean, in truth, what you really can do, there's actually one other way. But again, it costs them money. You can do printing in two parts, like what you were thinking. So we know with Pokemon, they know they're going to sell like 1 million, but the printing press can only print uh 300,000.
Yeah.
And so there's a wave one, there's wave two, wave three. With Weiss, what they would have to do is they know they can sell 100,000 right up front. So then what they really can do is go, I'm going to print 50,000. And then we're going to do a wave two where we print 50,000 plus. So we go, okay, how much is your demand now? And then we're going to print the 50,000 extra that you wanted. But while we're there, take any extra orders and then we'll print that. That's the only way. But again, you're going to run into that thing where a year later from now, people aren't going to find it. And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Are we going to accept the fact that are people really going to accept the fact that you can't get it anymore because you know what, you missed out? And I don't know if anybody will ever accept that fact, like that
Yeah.
you can't get it.
I don't know. It's tough, man. I mean, I would love to go back and open some of these. Even
Oh
what
yeah, no, I would
Fujimi
too.
is not even old. Like that's not even an old set.
Yeah,
In Pokemon, I can get a 2-year-old set easily right now for $200. I
really?
mean, I guess
What?
yeah. Before this demand, like you could get a 2, 3, 4-year-old Pokemon box
You
for
mean not like right?
90
Yeah,
for
you mean
ninety
before?
dollars.
You mean before, not like right now?
No,
You mean right?
before.
Yeah, no,
Before.
because that's the same with Weiss, right? Weiss was the same way.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's like you could have got it, right? Like you could have got some of these boxes for uh remember like what I said, I got Bang Dream Girls Band Party, the one with the Yukina in it. I got it for
Yeah.
120. Like
Yeah,
it
it's
was
not bad.
just, and that's what I mean. That was in,
Yeah, but you had to get it from the UK. You had to jump through a ton of hoops. It's not like
yeah, but that was still there. It wasn't like people are looking for it. Like it was still
yeah.
around. Like you could get this Girls Band Party. So Girls Band Party came out July 3rd, right? And then
Yep.
you had people in March buy it for $65, right? Like you could still get some of these things within reason. Like that's
Yeah,
what I
but
mean. Just
that's only 6 months later, man. I
yeah,
mean,
but that's what
in
I mean.
Pokemon, XY Evolutions came out in 2016, right? I
Uh-huh.
could buy boxes of it in 2020 when you know, I was buying them for $100. That's 4 years old.
Yeah, but there was more printing. Like you could get this one. This one was readily available. I saw
Yeah, yeah,
these were for 80 June 4th. And then Card Captor Sakura, you could get those for $70.
yeah. I just mean it like
Yeah.
if there was a way that they could get it even somewhat close to like the Japanese, like right now you can go buy a lot of Japanese booster boxes, like whatever one you want. Obviously, certain ones you'll never find them like Sneaker Bunko, but you can go and buy a Fujimi box right now for 80, 90 bucks.
Yeah, but that's again because the stores are willing to take that
Yeah,
inventory because they know eventually they'll sell it. And that's what I mean. Like the hard part is, do you have stores that are willing to hold on to this product to sell it later for people?
that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I guess
That
they're just taking all the risk.
Yep. so that's what I mean. Like, they don't mind printing it as long as, because again, when you said about Fujimi, it's not like Weiss Japan is still printing Fujimi, right? But
Yeah,
it's still
yeah,
readily available. That's because the store itself is like, you know what, we know this is a good set, people are gonna buy it, so let's just keep some on hand. For this one, you can tell no stores want to take the risk because so many stores have gotten burned that they couldn't get rid of this. And again, that goes back to having a player base, that goes back to having
yeah, yeah,
like actual events, and it's not there. That's what I mean. I'm like, I honestly have went through in my head how many different ways we can try to figure out this problem. And unless Weiss actually grows in popularity, that there's no way. Because think about
yeah,
this,
yeah.
like if you look down here, like at all these years, this game has been around for a while. And granted, if you look in 2013, it's not like they put out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
14, 15, so we start ratcheting up in 2014. And you had Sword Art right there. So what's in 2014? Let me go back. You had Sword Art there. You have here we go. 2013 Sword Art. Um, who's really going to be holding on, like stores holding on to those boxes, all the way up
Oh
through.
no, I don't
Yeah,
think they should be having those, but I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
even 1 year old right now, if you're looking for a 1 year old English booster box, it's pretty tough.
Let's see. So what do we have back then? 2020. Yeah, so you could have gotten before like the
Yeah,
crazy investor thing. You could have gotten even slime. Slime was 110 before
really?
like before that's what I mean. I've been watching this forever. So
Yeah, but
let
when
me,
did the wave of investors come in? That was in 2020.
that was in like March. No, it was no, that wasn't 2020. It was
Oh, okay. Because I know cards
March
in general.
2021.
Okay.
Yeah, see, so here is an actual, let me show something. Actually,
I think the main thing, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, advertising. That's all they need. They don't
yep,
advertise this at all. You know how I found Weiss? I found it accidentally on TCG Player because someone was selling a Love Live SP for $8, and in my search bar, I typed in the wrong thing on accident. So I saw it and I bought it. And then that's how I found out about Weiss. I never saw it. I didn't even know the game existed before that.
yeah, no, that's what I mean. A lot of it comes down to Bushy.
And I'm pretty big in cards, man. I collect Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, sports,
This I have
Digimon,
never
and I've never even heard of
shown.
it.
I've never shown people. I've shown like a little flash of it, but I never showed the actual names and stuff. So this is a collection of work that I went through. I put together before I started looking at all this. So that's how I know for sure
Yeah,
when prices went up and all of that stuff. So that's what I mean. I've been watching it forever, and I can tell you these boxes were definitely accessible,
yeah,
right? So even though there was like this giant increase, like take a look. So I mean, Goblin Slayer, it was a playable deck, but like here are actual the prices, and let's see, market price, original price, and profit. So that's what these columns actually represent. So
yeah.
um, you could have gotten like a whole lot of these at a decent price for whenever, right? So uh, let's see, Batman Ninja. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, that doesn't
But yeah,
exist.
see, review Starlight, 75. So you could kind of tell where I was, what time period it was, because I stopped here at Mob Psycho. Um, but
Yeah,
you
but
have you have some of these boxes that were readily available. See, so this is what I meant by Cardcaptor Sakura 77.
yeah,
Booster pack, booster box of this thing, $60. So, and that was 2018. And then even Love Live, well, that's an extra booster. Persona 5, no way.
that's what I'm saying. A lot of the
Ordinal
stuff that
scale. Yep. See, so these that's what I mean. Like anybody that tells me that this thing was inaccessible before the rise up in investors, you have no idea what you're talking about. Just because it's like or you're uninformed, because I sat here categorizing all these,
Yeah.
and you could get Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale from 2017 for $80.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, I know people will tell me that, hey, by the way, I've been playing this game forever. And I'm like, you may have been playing it, but you haven't been looking at it. You haven't been actively watching it like I
Yeah.
have, because I'm like, again, if I told you you could buy, let me see, here we go. Booster pack this guy from 2016 for $75. Would you believe me? No, but my sheet told me, yeah, you could have bought it for that back then. Well, actually, from the time period of when Mob Psycho hit. So back in December of 2020, at the
Yeah.
very, well, no, because yeah, this is about this sheet was probably last updated January. Um, and these prices are good as of January. This is a historical document in January of 2021 of what prices actually look like.
Yeah.
So these were definitely available. And it's just, again, you had people buying it up because there was this giant wave of investors, whether that was outside investors or, like I hypothesize, a lot of them were actually from the Weiss community already that started realizing this, that this
Yeah.
is actually here. So that's what I mean. I get fresh, like, and that's what I mean. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like frustrated just because all these people that tell me that, yeah, we could never buy it. I'm like, you've had You've had 5 years, 4.5 years to buy this thing. Don't tell me right now that you didn't have the opportunity. You had 4.5 years. You had, like, at $90.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, some of these people would kill to get some of these. What was this? Man, I should have bought this. 139. I should have bought Konosuba at 139. But there it is. This is the unfiltered deck. Like, I mean, this Excel sheet. I had this hidden before. Like, what people saw before was, I think, no. And I only showed it for a little bit. They only saw this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what this is. Why is it
Wow.
not?
So if you got this far into the video, you got a little a sneak peek at that.
Yeah, there it is. So that's why I'm like, I can't justify when people tell me that this game was inaccessible. It was not. You had plenty of opportunity to buy it, whether you
Yeah. Yeah.
chose to get into it or maybe you just thought it was going to be like that forever. Um, uh, that was that guy must have been selling this forever at 500. Remember, we talked about this. This is that sparkling collection promo,
Oh
and
yeah.
it was 500. But this is what I mean. Like, you'll see things where can't find or that doesn't actually sell. So I was actually
Yeah.
these weren't just prices that are showing up on TCG Player or eBay. These were actually
Yeah.
sold prices of what I've actually seen.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
this list is solid, and I've been tracking it for the longest time. But I stopped, obviously, because this is the point where I started realizing it doesn't matter anymore. That's when this is when I started noticing that there was investor interest, and that's when I stopped. So I'm like, no matter what happens after this point, these things are not going to be worth updating.
Yeah.
So there we are.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I knew that like people had the opportunity to buy these so much too. Like, because I started in January. That's when I got my first Weiss card, and some of those SPs I was looking at, they're way cheaper than they are now.
Yep.
You know, and that was just January of this year. So
Yeah.
I don't know. If it came out 4 years ago and you didn't want to buy it at 50, and now you're mad that it's 400, that's
And
whose
that's
fault is that?
so
You know?
the whole reason of showing that sheet is going back to the original topic is, if how long should a store actually take that risk? So you can imagine if they had, that was just this list. You have product from 2016 that didn't sell, You
Yeah.
barely made any money off it. It's taking up storage space. And by the way, you missed the run up in Pokemon and Magic and other things. Like, how long do they want to keep? And that's why,
Yeah.
like, on that shop list on the Weiss site, it's out of date because mine doesn't exist anymore. They
Yeah.
stopped selling Weiss around 2015, like 2014 or something because they, no, 2015 because they weren't able to sell it, even though there's plenty of products. It's just they didn't want to take the risk anymore on it. It just doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the actual answer again is because um, if demand for Weiss product keeps going the way it is, like if the investors stay, if the collectors stay, if the players stay and grows, then yeah, they could probably print 10 or 20%. But from what I'm seeing, yeah, it's going to be a little scary in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Um, but who
Hmm.
knows? I hope I'm just more cautious than anything, um, and all that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
I
know.
mean it's impossible to know, man. If I knew the future, I would have had a bunch of old boxes that went up 100, 200,
Me
1,000 times the
too. Me
price.
too.
So
I just didn't have enough time to buy all these myself. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I was following it. So that and hopefully, again, I just wanted to show that sheet to prove that no matter what anybody says, like all these players that said, man, I can't play this game anymore because the cards are too expensive. That's why, again, and we're different places in our life. Maybe you didn't afford it that time, but you can't
Yeah.
tell me that within 4 years you couldn't have afforded to buy, that booster box or that trial deck or whatever. There's no, I cannot fathom a reason why outside of like some emergency and all that, or disability, and I get those, but I see a lot of
Yeah.
comments that say that, and it's just, I don't know what you're trying to do. Are you just trying to jump on the bandwagon, or are you
Yeah. I
just
mean,
upset like you said, where you just didn't get it and now you're just kicking yourself? So
yeah, no, the
it's
thing
hard.
is, like, I'm in a big Pokemon Discord that I'm pretty big in there, and a lot of these people try telling me like, "Oh man, you're so lucky you got these for, $10, $20 back. Now they're 200, 500." And I'm like, "Dude, do you even want the card or do you want it because it's $500?"
Yep.
Like, I bought that card for $5 because I wanted the card, and it just happened to go up in value. You don't want that. If you wanted that card, you would have bought it when it was $5. You didn't want it.
Yeah,
So that's what I think it is in Weiss too. These people didn't
it's
want, like,
exactly
that
that.
Kermie that you said you bought for $80 that used to be 40. They didn't want it at $40. They want it now because it's 250, 300.
Yeah, they
Like,
jumped on the bandwagon. And that's what I mean. It's hilarious to me because even though we're investors, collectors, or whatever, you can tell we actually like this stuff. We're not just
yeah,
here to like do that. Where that's what I mean. Like they were players, and I'm not disregarding players, but they
yeah,
played the game, but they didn't have a full appreciation of what they actually had. They
yeah,
didn't feel that that card was worth $40, where I bought it at 80 and now people want it at 250. So it's sad. And that's what I mean. I'm like, I'm one of those people that work with cold hard fact, and I sit here and look at numbers all day. And that's what I mean. Like my conclusion is, like you said, you didn't want it back then, and now you want it because you can't get it. It's that whole needs thing
yeah.
and wants thing. And you had a plenty of opportunity, and I get it, life comes up. But if I throw this spreadsheet in your face and it says 4 years in 20 January 2021, you had 4.5 years to pick up this box at that price, then you I don't know what your excuse is at that point. So
Yeah, no, they just want it because it went up. That's
yep, it's frustrating.
I want a first edition Charizard PSA 10,
Yeah.
but
And that's why I have a hard time sometimes explaining that to people. And I get it. Like people get
yeah,
very emotional, and that's
yeah,
what it comes back with. But that was the first time I truly showed that sheet. But it's eye-opening, right? If
yeah,
you
of
see the
course.
sheet, you're like, holy crap, I wasn't awake for that. And that's what
Yeah,
this sheet actually represents. So I was actually going to show that sheet at a different time, but good
yeah,
time to show it. So
yeah. And I mean, like I showed off before that, this,
yep.
I paid up for it. I wanted it, so I paid it. If that it'll never happen. But if this goes up to 5 grand, if this goes up to 10 grand, right? I bought it because I want it, not because it's worth 10 grand, you know?
Yeah.
So
No,
that,
my collection will most likely stay with me unless I need money bad or I want to retire or there's some kind of goal. But
yeah,
I don't foresee ever parting ways with my Bang Dream ever or any of the other ones that I've collected, like pure collection that I have.
yeah,
Um, if you tell me like if I have a case, then maybe I get rid of some of it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
there's things that you hold on to and there's things that you don't. So if I ever did sell part of my case, it would just be part. I wouldn't get rid of literally the entire series unless they do
yeah,
something
yeah.
horrible in the series. Like that, I get all real angry. But outside of that, I can't
Yeah,
see it. Oh, oh man, that was a lot. Uh,
yeah, it's gonna be 2 long ones, man.
yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm like, I I hear, and that's again like what I do as part of my job is like find solutions. And honestly, I hear like the cries of the customers, but I have to also see the needs of the business side, LGS and company. And I don't have enough to tell me that says we can print more because the customers haven't bought stuff for years. They don't buy every set, which again, you don't have to,
Yeah.
but they need to understand. And that's what I mean. The hard part is people don't understand it. No matter how many times I say it or how many videos I make, what they hear from me is, oh, so you're telling me to buy a reset. I'm like, no, just understand that and that was actually a comment. Someone called me a mean name, a bad name actually. I had to ban them. And I had to ban them, and they're like, so you're telling me I need to get all this money and do that? I'm like, no. But it's like you can't run a business just on pure emotion or
And
I want to,
buy the things you want.
yeah, it's and so
That's it.
that they can't do that. It's like you just have to understand. There needs to be a whole lot more understanding on each side. Like Bushiroad needs a little training on how to treat their customers and um, advertising and
Yeah.
doing right by the LGS, where customers need to understand that they can only print so many because we all don't have money to buy this stuff like
So the
over
thing
and
though
over.
that I actually wanted to get your opinion on, and
Yeah.
hey to the one person still watching, but so I won't get too much hate. I won't get too much hate for this, but I feel like these LGS owners, a lot of them I've seen on Facebook, man, they're very entitled with this with Weiss. They feel like they bought this stuff, so they should be able to sell it. People are undercutting them and it's awful and they can't pay their bills. But when you're
Uh-huh.
running a business, like I won't get too much into detail with it, but I used to run my own business, me and my friend, and
Yeah.
some of this inventory, we're only getting a 10-20% margin on it, and we're holding them for months and months and months. And that was money that we invested so that we could have the product there for when a customer comes in, hey, do you have this? Oh, sorry, no, I don't, because we only ordered exactly enough for the first wave of people that wanted it.
No, I
No,
agree. That's a hundred
we
hundred
took
percent.
on 100% of the risk and it paid off. That's how I can afford cards. That's how I can do all this stuff because we took that risk. You want to own a store? If having an LGS, I would love to own an LGS and sell cards, man, because I love cards. But it's not worth the risk to me, so I'm not opening an LGS. I don't have that kind of extra money, to mess around with on stuff that might not sell.
Yep.
So maybe you shouldn't have done this. A lot of these LGS owners, like, did you open up this year because of the hype? Or have you always been doing this? Because if you've been doing this for 2, 3, 4 years, your products went up 10 times in price. There's
Yep.
no way any LGS could have lost money in this past year. There's no way.
Yeah. And that's
So
for me personally, I 100% agree with you. Where if I had my own LGS, and again, I know I don't, but if I did, I would have it funded where I would be able to keep extra product there, whether I choose to sell it or not, like right then, or sit on it and wait for it, in case I need it a year later or 2 years later, or have a storage for it.
yeah,
But I think too many of them, like you said, buy to demand and just turn it to get to the next thing. And I wouldn't want to run my business that way when it comes to cards, because again, it's like we know these things either go up or value, or there's going to be some guy walking through your door that wants to play and is looking for that. For
Yep.
me personally, I would always have a little bit of that stock left. I mean, up to a reasonable point. I mean, if it's
Yeah,
like
I'm
previous
not
year,
saying that these
yeah, no,
LGS
no,
owners should
like,
have 10 cases in the back, but
oh no,
what I'm
no, no,
saying
not
is
like that. Yeah, no, I
they're
would have
saying
like
like, hey,
a
look, we need
couple.
more players because we're an LGS. We need
Yeah,
more events. We need more promotions. It's like, dude, if you don't even have enough product for someone new coming in to get into Weiss, why would they want to be paying for events for you or giving you all this free
yep.
stuff when you don't even have the cards?
That's what I mean. All of the whole thing is broken. Like you need that was that was I had a video thing about like the problems in Weiss or whatever, and
Yeah.
it was a combination of all of it. You have not enough players, you have players that were kind of entitled, or they had attitudes about investors, you have Bushiroad not doing their part, you have LGSs, you have people undercutting that weren't in LGS, you have like a slew of issues, and not anybody's willing to give on it. When you think about it, who's giving on it? like giving, like, is the player base like um like considering Bushy's side of it, or the investor side of it? Is the LGS buying more or trying to do a little bit more? Or is Bushiroad attempting to even do ads or reaching out to um LGSs, and they are not reaching out to LGSs? And then you have distributors. Yeah, so it's a whole slew of bad
I
things.
think right now, the way it is, and no one says anything, these players just take it. But right now, the players and the collectors and the investors are taking on 100% of the risk. They're getting these play sets ahead of time. They're pre-ordering these play sets months in advance to make sure they can get them. So the store takes no risk, right? These stores that sold play sets of Beaufry took zero risk. Oh, I'm selling 12 play sets. All right, then I'll get 4 cases or whatever, 4 master cases, however many it takes.
Yeah,
So now those are all guaranteed to be sold. If you sell 2 play sets, that pays for almost the whole case at a distro level. So now they're getting all these SPs and double R's, triple R's, whatever to stock their store. They're selling one SP for $800 for some reason, and now they took on no risk at all, which just doesn't add up. I saw one comment on Facebook of a guy that actually does sell play sets and all that, and he lowers the price of his SPs to match what should be a reasonable kind of margin. These guys are not taking on any risk at all. They're just pre-ordering it. If you don't pre-order it, we're not ordering anymore. That's it. I don't know. To me, it seems like the player has to put up money up front. The store gets everything else. They get the SPs, they get your guaranteed sale. I don't know. To me,
it
they're putting in zero risk. The player is paying up and not even getting their SPs or boxes or anything. They're just getting the cards that these stores should be selling for
are
lower
those
if the SPs are so high. I don't
Are
know.
those stores that you're seeing like actual LGSs, or um, online sellers? Because the majority of the play sets I see sold are
Yeah,
actually just online sellers. There are some stores, but there are definitely
I
a
have no
lot of
clue.
online sellers.
I don't look too much into it because
Yeah.
there's no LGS around me that carries Ways.
Yep.
But I just see a ton of posts of so many people. Everyone is trying to sell play sets. Why? Because it's free money that you don't even have to think about. You don't have to take any risk.
Yep. And
So
that's where it is. It's the LGSs, and not, there are some LGSs, but the majority of those people actually selling
yeah.
are actually just
Okay.
online
Okay.
sellers. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So there are definitely stores that don't make a lot in SPs. And even then or they don't get a lot of SPs because they're being beat out by the other people. But again, like I said, being an LGS, I think you know that you need to offer something more. You can't
Yeah,
just be selling boxes or play sets because anybody can do that. You need to
yeah,
have a community that will support you. So, I mean, that's on the LGS to do and Bushy to help them. That's how you
yeah,
create some kind of differentiator like for your business. And unfortunately, that's not happening. You're not getting the partnership from Bushiroad, and at the same time, like
yeah,
you said, LGSs aren't doing their part either by taking some of the risk. And that's what you happens when you have a business, right? Like I
yeah.
don't know if I open a pizza shop tomorrow if people are gonna buy my pizza, but I still
Yeah,
gotta buy
no,
I
you
still
have to
gotta buy the
pre-order your
dough. I
pizza.
gotta buy the ingredients, and hopefully someone goes and buys it.
You got to pre-order your pizza 2 months in advance. Then we'll order all the stuff and make sure you get your pizza in the
Yeah,
next month.
that's what I mean. Like there, you have to take on that risk. But if you're not
Yeah,
willing to buy the extra product, like you said, and have it sitting there for a couple months, and that's what I mean. That's the difference between Japan and English because they're willing to take that risk. You see it where
yeah,
English is
okay,
not, and you can't have that extra printing because the stores aren't going to buy it. And
yeah, okay.
that's where we have this circle of not nothingness.
I really, yeah, I really get it now. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, that does make a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
basically everyone wants no risk.
Yeah,
That's
that's literally what it is.
because
No one
Bushiroad
wants.
too. I'm not saying the LGS are evil, but Bushiroad too is not putting in any risk. We'll print what you want. That's it.
Yep.
I mean, I guess they get the risk when they pay for the licensing.
Yeah, when they pay for the, that's what I mean. So when they walk into that contract meeting, that's what I mean. I don't know how they freaking forecast this, but
Yeah,
obviously what happens when you, for me anyways, I haven't sat through it, but on their company, but you would go into this, you know how much it costs to print this stuff. You have a fixed cost of how much it costs to rent time at the printer, how much materials cost. You forecast how much you can sell. You take it to that licensing meeting and they go, look, we try to make 20% when we sell our stuff. Based on this is how much we can pay you in licensing.
yeah,
And that's what it is. And they either check mark it or they say, sorry, that's too low for us. And that's what happens.
yeah,
But that's literally how I think these meetings do go. And if they don't go that way, then I have no idea how they would do it. I just have no clue unless that company already says, no, we want 250 no matter what. We always ask 250 from everybody. And
yeah.
so if
It's
you don't,
impossible. It's impossible to know. I've looked up so much about anime licensing just because I was curious, and you can't find anything about it. It's all so secretive.
yeah, no, I would just step back and go eat just regular licensing. Just go,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, like I wouldn't
But
even use I wouldn't use that. I would use licensing in general as like the base. And then yeah, maybe there's more pictures. There's maybe like add a little bit more fee, but it shouldn't be too much different from the next company, right? Because someone can walk in and talk about cards, but someone can walk in and talk about chocolate bars. Like I'm gonna put your character on a chocolate bar.
yeah, that's
That's what I
true.
mean. So same deal. So
Okay, yeah, that's true.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like
It
how
can't be
many
too
how many
expensive
units am I gonna
if like these soap companies in Japan are paying for these anime like hand soap promotions. It can't be
yeah,
that expensive.
yeah, see that's what I mean. So I don't know.
Huh.
We're never
Yeah.
gonna figure. That's what I mean. I'm like, it's hard to figure out because you have too many people that, like you said, now that you say that, that makes sense. No one wants to take the risk,
Yeah.
and as a player, we don't want to pay more for things,
They
but at the
shouldn't.
same,
I think players should be paying 100 to 200 for a playset. Call it a day. Maybe not a playset because you don't need four of every single card, but
yeah,
to get a deck, to get a deck, $100 max is what it should be, I think.
and you can do that right now. Both free, you can do
Okay.
that right now.
Okay. Well, then that's good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good balance. Maybe Bofree was a good balance. I don't know. I haven't seen too many releases, so I'm not sure. But
At four, that's what I
all
mean.
I
I'm like, I feel like three is like your low, but $4 for a double rare, yeah. And I know people are gonna say, well, the one double rare is $12. It's just an average, right? Like if you wanna get it. But for the most part, yeah, you can if you want a playable deck, you can make it under $100. Like you can see it.
okay.
You don't, and that's what I mean. I'm like, how many people are sitting here and want to play a meta deck? I mean, there's some people that do. They always want to win, but I don't want to play the same thing over and over again. Like I would imagine if you're buying a $300 playset, you're going to attempt to use all the different cards, which means you're not playing a
Yeah,
meta deck. You're going to be playing, unless you just like throwing $300 away because you want to buy cards and never use them. That's why I don't understand the whole idea about a freaking playset. Like no matter how many times people tell me this is your best deal, I'm like, is it? Are you playing with all the double rares? Did you make 3 decks? No, then
yeah.
what do you do?
Because how
Like
many cards is in a deck? 50?
50.
Yeah, if you get a
And
playset, that's what, 60 double Rs?
like
Like,
yeah, Beaufry had 12 double rares. And again, you're not using them all. They're all different
yeah,
colors, they're all different levels and all that stuff. And that's what I mean. You're not going to use them all.
okay,
So
okay,
unless
so
you're making like random decks, but again, like again, if you're buying those play sets and you saw my thing where Beaufry was like cheap, there was double rares in the $1 and $2, right? You
yeah,
have Data
yeah,
Live that was like has a double rare under $1. So yeah, if you want to buy a playset and you're going to use them all, feel free. But that's what I mean. Like this game is accessible. Do you want to play a meta deck? Okay, you're gonna have to pay a little more, but that's what happens, right? If you want those cards, and it's going to cost more. Oh
huh,
man, but
yeah,
yeah,
that's interesting.
I don't know. Like it's very like the Facebook conversations that people have about the whole um Bushiroad just needs to print more. You saw how long we took to get that. You see like the whole
Yeah, yeah,
the root is multiple roots, and
yeah,
like a one viewpoint conversation is not going to get anybody anywhere.
yeah.
We just not.
I don't know. All I think is if these stores, instead of buying the exact amount they need, why are
Oh
you
yeah,
not
no, they
buying
need to buy
like,
more.
why aren't you buying 10 extra boxes? Like, is $700, 750 that much of a risk for your store that you might go out of business? Like,
Yeah, no, like
you're probably not running the rest of it right,
if I were to attempt to open a store, which I'm not, I wouldn't start with less than $100,000 like available to buy product. Like, and I'm not, obviously I'm not buying $100,000 of product in month
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
but that's how much you should have available, I think. Because,
yeah,
like you said, if you're just buying you're just surviving. Like, how do
yeah,
you have income or, yeah, like you said, you missed out on like that growth over time that could have got you money. But then see, that's another road. Players will then say, "Oh, you're ripping us off because you're charging more." Yeah,
so
like
but
you don't win. There's no winning anywhere.
my LGS, when I first got into Pokemon, they sold me a booster box for $140. You know how much it was on eBay? $90.
Yep. You got the
Did I go
Amazon
back to the
fee.
store and be like, oh man, you guys ripped me off? No, that's just how it works. Sometimes
Yep.
some sucker comes in, you sell them a box for 140 and they make their money like that.
Yep.
You
That's,
know,
I don't know. It's there. Yeah.
yeah, there's a
Well,
lot of layers though, because now that I'm thinking about it too, it's also the whole mapping problem. People don't want to buy these loose boxes or loose packs. Because
and
in
that's
Pokemon, you can go in and buy one pack.
so you
And
see
you
now
could get the
why.
Charizard, right? You could go in, buy one pack and get a Charizard, or that's $300. You can't do that in Weiss. I
Yeah.
guess you could, but probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, you see why I had that video with the list of all the problems? Because people don't
Yeah,
people don't put it together. You see one
yeah,
problem and you think that's just the issue. It's not. This
yeah.
Weiss unfortunately has so many issues and not every it needs to be considered as a whole. You have to break them
Yeah,
down one by one, but a whole, because you just right, like we just thought this print to demand thing is just print to demand. Oh, that's just a problem. But when you get
yeah,
down into it, how many layers was there to that
yeah,
problem?
yeah.
There's way too many.
No mapping, print 10% more, stores order 10% more. Done. Problem solved. Give me an award. I should be working for Bushiroad. That's the end of the story.
Kind of. Remember, you got to eliminate well, again, you can't eliminate undercutting, but that's part of it, because if the LGS that right, we have a hard problem because you can't find an LGS that has
Yeah.
this, or players can't play because you can't find an LGS. So you got to
Yeah, I
stamp them
mean,
all out.
if you're an LGS and you're getting undercut by people online, you're not doing something right, because people should be coming into your store because they like your store, not because you have the cheapest price.
Yeah.
That's just
And I
how
mean,
stores work. People
there's,
want things immediately, so there's a premium there, so maybe 5-10%, and then a lot of people will pay an extra 5-10% if they like your store, right? I worked
yeah,
in a vape store when I was 18. I worked in a vape store. You could buy those juices online for 15 bucks. We were selling them for 20, 25, whatever, but people wanted it now and they liked our store. We gave them a service like, "Hey, you want to test out all these flavors? You want us to help you set it up? We do all these extra things. We're not just doing the absolute bare minimum like, "Oh, come and buy your playset and get out."
yeah.
Like
That's
like
what I
what
mean. I'm
what are
like,
you doing?
there needs to be more ownership on their side and Bushiroad's side to keep
Yeah.
them alive. It was kind of like what Magic did back in the day, right? Like to make sure that those
Yeah.
tournaments are being held or Friday Night Magic actually happened. Like so, it's that you need, yeah, you have an advantage because you're an actual physical store that people see and can play at you. So something's missing
Yeah.
here, and that's what I mean. Like Bushiroad is not talking to the LGS. In fact, what they're talking about is Cardfight Vanguard. I don't know if you saw that note from Audrey. Like when Audrey is at a card store, there was a phone call from Bushiroad, like the salesperson, and they were saying they didn't ask about Weiss. They told them to push Cardfight Vanguard more. They could care less about Weiss. So that's what I mean. There's a failure on all parts here,
That's
and
so weird to me, honestly. It
that,
must be because Cardfight Vanguard's cheaper to make.
it's insane. I mean, I don't know, but
It has to be. There's no other reason because why would you invest such huge money into these licensing of popular like you think Sword Art Online is a cheap license? No. No way. Why would you invest all this money to push some other product because the other product you don't have to pay this huge licensing fee because I don't know anything about Cardfight Vanguard, but I think they have a lot of like original works, right?
right, you got it. And that's what I mean. Like again, just look at the prizes and all that, but it's got a bigger community.
But does it have a bigger community because it's a better game and people like it more or because they push it more? you know?
I feel like because I will say that LGS down the road here, they do Magic, Pokemon, and Cardfight Vanguard. No
Yeah.
Weiss, no
Yep.
Weiss.
Of
So
course not.
yep, that's what I mean. I don't know, too many layers. So
Yeah.
we'll have to go through all the different layers because wow, holy crap. But so
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no idea how long this thing is because there's no actual timer, but I don't remember when I turned this thing on. Um,
It is 2 hours.
are you serious?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So we're gonna have to cut it there, definitely.
but yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so you know what I mean now by like the one-sided talks on Facebook or wherever about printing too much or LGSs or all that. Like, it's never going to get anywhere because there's
Yeah,
too
no, you
many
you gotta
issues.
look at you gotta look at every single perspective, man. That's what I try to do. It's if you have your opinion and you're strong about it, that's great, but you gotta listen to what other people are saying. You gotta read the room, it's your opinion might be it's all Bushiroad's fault, it's all someone's fault. It's no one's fault. It's everyone's fault at the same time. So
And oh, by the way, don't blame JKTCG for not being here. Like, just how about that? I don't know if you saw that picture with the fire English prices. There's like a dumpster fire. And I'm like, people are like, oh, it's because
yeah, I saw that.
JKTCG is not here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you have no, again, you might be playing this game, you have no clue. If you actually believe that because JKTCG isn't here, that the prices are bad in English, then you obviously have no clue of what you're talking about when it comes to card pricing. Like
If
just
people want the cards and JKTCG has them at 150, but way more people want them, they're just gonna be sold out.
yeah, they'll be sold out. And you know what? How JKTCG prices then? The next time they get that card, or actually once it sells out, they reprice it. And then once they get it, then that's what it is now. Like I don't know. It's so frustrating to read things like that. That people like stop blaming everything on that. It has nothing to do with it. It's called a card market. Um,
Nah, it's all their fault. It's all JKTCG's fault, man. If he was here, we'd have product on the shelves. We would have
yeah,
cards at 20 bucks, and Bushiroad would be printing unlimited product.
and it's Rudy's fault for buying it all. But
Yeah.
if you know any, like I know because I know he doesn't buy like a massive amount of Weiss products. Like he might have had like that picture that he bought up from other stores, but when it comes to new releases, he doesn't have like a mountain of them. He's not spending $100,000 on Weiss every release. That's not what's happening here. So I
Really?
mean,
I think he is.
he is not.
Really? Hmm.
He is not. He is not. I could say that for 99% of the way.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
okay.
and that's without talking to him.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
why I say 99% of the way. Everything, every info that I have, it's not that. It's
Yeah.
not even remotely close. It's just I wait, hold on. Let me do the math on my phone.
And then honestly, the thing that it doesn't even matter how much he buys. Even if he bought he doesn't sell them. Like he's not a Facebook reseller trying to flip these boxes for $1. Like if they
Yeah.
don't go up 10 times in price, he doesn't care. He'll
He
just keep hanging on to them.
he does sell some, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's no. I mean, I could tell you like he does sell like of that $1 million. How many boxes would that be? I don't know. I could tell you he probably only sold like 5% of it.
Yeah.
If that's even right. Like I can't do the math. All I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
is he has bought some, he has sold some, but when people, yeah, like what you said, he's not a reseller. He's holding on
Yeah.
to the extreme majority of it, regardless of what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like people without info are just wildly speculating what he's doing, and he's not. That's what I mean. I could tell you for
Yeah.
99%
I've seen
certainty.
so many comments like, "Oh, he's just pumping and dumping this stuff." It's like, dude, he's not pumping these up to $70 to flip them
Yeah,
for 70.
and that's what I meant before when I said people want Weiss to be like the stock market, like Pokemon and Magic, and it's not even remotely close to that. Because
No.
again, a pure pump and dump is like shooting it up. He would be dumping it all right now,
If
but
he
he's
was
not.
dumping it all right now, they'd go down to like $20.
Yeah, and it's not like that at all. Like a pump and dump is, uh, like something going from $1 to 50. Everybody sells it, yeah, and it goes all the way back down. That's where the dump is. There is no
Yeah.
dump. There is no product. You can't find it because he's
Yeah.
not selling it. And by the way, he doesn't own as much as you think he does of the
Yeah.
new stuff coming out. He just doesn't. So, and again, I could be wrong. I mean, if he wants to tell me I'm horribly wrong and then edit this part out, then I will. But I honestly don't feel that way. So
That's
just
right, Rudy. I know you're still watching to the end of this video, so we're both calling you out. You better
he's
post
too
what you
busy
have.
for us. Too busy. Um, yeah. Okay. This is probably good. Unless you have anything else. We had a
No,
good
I think that's good, man. I think that's
all
good.
talked out. I'm
Oh yeah.
thirsty.
Yeah.
Thirsty. But no, it's
Yeah.
good. So yeah, these long problems. That's I mean, like all this time I was hoping that I'd have somebody to talk through some of these problems with,
Yeah.
because the more people that can fully understand this, the better off we get to finding a solution.
Yeah.
But at this point, without like having this discussion, which I don't think really happens outside of the community stuff, like maybe LGS has this talk, but like inside internally, but there's no one really discussing this. So it was good because I've seen other videos where it's been like they just got to print more or they got to reprint, and I'm like, dude, you just had Data Live reprint and you had Beaufry sell out, but you don't see anybody crying about reprints on Beaufry. And again, the reason why is you don't got the people to buy it.
Yeah.
So it's
Hmm.
just it's just how it is. You can't just say that without having numbers that support it. And
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Again, like even Data Live, the reprint people bought too much of and they have it for sale still. So it's it's the player base isn't what people think it is. They have this thought that there is, but it's not what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so that's what I mean. Like the number, I like staring at numbers, but at the same time, when I get numbers and I tell people about the numbers and they don't understand it or just argue, it hurts because it's like I have clear facts where you have emotion and
Huh.
doesn't work out.
Here's a numbers question for you real quick.
Uh-huh.
How many of these SPs do you think exist for older stuff, like 4 or 5
Oh,
years old?
I was thinking about that earlier. Uh,
Total,
Not even just,
every condition.
and not even just my one was like how many are actually for sale, like people willing to actually sell it,
Yeah,
right? Like, so are you asking like still exist, they're willing to sell,
exist.
exist?
Yep.
Oh,
Like
I
how
mean,
many of those my SPs do you think exist?
that I don't know. Like, because again, we need to actual have solid print run numbers, which they'll never give us.
Yeah,
Like, if you tell me how many exist that didn't get destroyed, I mean, I would like guess that like 90% of it still exists. Like,
yeah.
because again, like these things are in collectors' hands or I was about to say idiots that play max rarity. Like, but like, why that again, it's your money, you do whatever you want,
Yeah, yeah,
um, but in reality, unless something burned down or they threw it in the like again,
yeah,
because it's how many times have you seen like where people will um with Pokemon cards or something, it'll get damaged. It's not as, cared for.
yeah,
But I feel like when it comes to anime stuff, you see people have like these shrines and all this other stuff. I think they're well taken care of. Like these things aren't like missing or gone or something. They still exist. Where
yeah.
you have more likelihood that Pokemon cards and Magic cards are just gone because they were mismanaged.
Well, it's
I
also
don't think,
because of when they came out. I mean, these cards came out 25 years ago.
yep,
They were worth $1, right? Like Weiss
yeah.
kind of got big to where cards already had some value. Not crazy, but like you're talking $40 for a piece of cardboard. Like
But
people
yeah,
know these are worth money.
and you knew that it was a signature, right? Like
Yeah,
where the other ones, they were just cards. That's what I
yeah,
mean. I'm like, I think the majority of cards actually still exist. We won't know because we don't know their print runs.
yeah,
Like if
true.
we knew that there was 100 cases, we can like make a guess on like how many are there, but we don't know that.
Hmm.
So that's the hard part.
Yeah, yeah,
You just don't know. And like I said, like you see it with the Madoka serial numbers, they don't exist. Like they exist, but they're not there. So
yeah,
um, they're in collectors' hands, never to be sold. So I'm like, well, that's what I meant by like when I said after your question, I was thinking about it earlier today. I'm like, how many SP percents do you think actually are willing for sale? And I'm like, maybe 20% of them,
yeah,
25% because collectors have them or they're unopened.
yeah, yeah. I knew that immediately when I looked at Weiss. It reminds me of the comic book market where a lot of the comic book flippers will talk about the population report or census count they use for comics.
Yep.
It doesn't matter because 70% of them are never going to be sold again. You know, some of these old comics, they're like, oh man, there's 200 of these in the world that shouldn't be that expensive. It's like you've only seen one for sale in the past year. Why is that? Because the other 70, 80, 90, 95% of them are not ever going to be sold again, you
Right.
know? So,
So you're never getting mine. You never get
yeah.
mine is in that drawer in the darkness and only expose the light every couple of months when I take a look.
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
Man,
Yeah, it was a good talk, man. Good talk.
I'm tired.
Yeah, me too.
That was a lot. But
Yeah.
no, it was a good talk. So we shall see. One day maybe I'll show my spreadsheet again. But
Yeah, you'll have to update all of them again, see where they went.
no way. That's
Well,
impossible. That is
yeah, because a
freaking,
bunch of those I saw a bunch of those boxes on there that you'll never see them for sale again.
you'll never see them for sale again.
Yeah.
That's I'm like looking here, Angel Beats. Man, I should have bought Angel Beats. I love Angel Beats.
I saw trial decks for it.
Yeah, it was 18 bucks. 2014, 18 bucks.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw them. No one wanted them for 50 for two of them.
told you. Like, and that's what I mean. It's when I put the spreadsheet up, anybody that wants to tell me that they can't find old stuff and they've been playing forever, just know I got you because I have this this spreadsheet. That's why
Yeah,
I wouldn't have put it there unless you couldn't find it. Like I literally wrote can't find under Love Live. I wrote can't find under Sword Art Online
yeah,
and a few other ones. So this was a good spreadsheet. And it tells a lot about the community.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, there we are. Okay, well, that's it. Any last words?
No, that's it, man. That is it.
TCG, go find them on the YouTube and like and subscribe. I still am on that whole thing where I haven't told anybody to like or subscribe yet, so I'm gonna keep up with that whole thing. So,
Just make a little clip and stick it in the front of the video.
oh no, I don't. I don't want that. I'm never going to do that, I think. I'm gonna say I'm never going to do that. Again, it's like I rather have um great discussions and I could care less if I make obviously I'm not making any money
Yeah,
off this. I'm just doing this because I like the game. I hope Wise continues to grow
yeah,
and does well and we get more of the cool sets because of the growth. That's the only way we're gonna get there, but that's the whole reason for this.
yeah.
Hopefully one day we get there. And
I'll
then
remember then. Next time I'm on, if there's a next time, like and subscribe right at the beginning.
no, I'm not doing that.
I'll do
Don't
it.
do it. No, don't do it. Don't do it. No, I don't want that. I just want people to actually discuss and have a good time with this.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I really wish that there was more of these kind of discussions where
Yeah,
people can
me too,
actually
man. I
talk.
like listening to them when I'm at work.
Yeah.
It's great to hear other people's opinions. I'm sure that, like you said, not too many people actually get to the end, but I'm sure there's a couple people, even if there's 5 people out there that listen to the whole thing, I'm sure they're happy to hear my
That's
opinion,
a
even though I probably know nothing, and your opinion, even though you have your own opinion. But I'm sure people are happy to hear that.
so the people that got to the end, if you want to come on here and talk with us,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it. Like
yeah,
this is
for
your
sure.
open invitation to the person that made it to the end of this video
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have this talk with us. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna add chapters. I will eventually. I'm just gonna put this up. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I know I'm not even. I'm not. This video is still on. I'm just gonna put this up. Eventually, I'll add chapters. But I'm just gonna throw it up. And we'll see how that is. But again, it was fun as always because I'm under the
Yep.
assumption that no one's listening to this part right now, so I can say whatever I want.
Yeah,
Like
put in a little Easter egg. If you email me at this, I'll send you a whole case of something.
yeah, I put up that D4 DJ giveaway thing yesterday, thinking I didn't put a lot of effort into finding. I don't know if you saw it, the
Yeah,
Shikishis.
yeah, I saw it. Those are pretty cool, man.
I didn't realize that these things were the folder are like almost impossible to find in the United States. So I wrote in my rules, like I changed the description. I wrote, if you attempted to do this, write a comment. Because
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to. I don't want to make it like where I had an impossible thing and not give something away. I feel bad about that. So it's for the people that actually tried and couldn't find it. They'll be entered. Is how it's gonna end
Um,
up. If there's
yeah.
none in existence in the United States, which seems
Send
like.
me send me the dimensions of that, man. I know a lot of people that make custom stuff. So
I don't know. I want to find a store because they have different sizes ones. Like the one on Bushiroad Global Online Store has one for the Bang Dream. They have the
yeah.
dimension. They used to have the dimensions on the D4 DJ one, but for whatever reason they took it off. And then I looked at the actual thing. I know I have a ruler right now, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, I want to actually find a store because I'm gonna need different folder sizes.
Oh,
Or
okay.
like because there's some big ones that they said on this one it's a mini Shikishi. And I'm like, okay, well then is that Bang Dream one like a normal size one? Because then I need like to have a normal size. I'm like, I don't get it. Like you have an online store that's like if you look at the Japanese version, they have an online store that sells nothing like have a ton of Shikishis, and you're telling me this global one sells it too, and you don't have anything to store it in. Like, are you
What
totally
what are they? What are they? Like, what are
They're
they made
rice
of?
paper. They're made of rice paper.
Oh, so those will get damaged easily.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I didn't want to open them ever until I have a thing because
Yeah,
I could get a regular car like a sleeve, not a sleeve, but like the plastic,
yeah,
plastic sleeve, shove it in there and put it in a binder. But will that get damaged from the binder weight? You saw that, guys, where it was like look real light. Like
yeah, yeah,
again, you're probably not going to want to drop the folder because there's probably no coverage, but at the same time, the folder itself is not going to crush any of that paper.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's just like, so I don't want to open these. They're $7 each. Not to say they're not expensive, but at the same time, I'm
That's a
not.
lot of money.
It is, and I bought 23 of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's over $100, man. Of course you want to keep them safe.
I really wanted all 13 of them.
I hope you get them.
Yeah, I better. If I'm missing like the secret or something, I'm gonna be pissed. That's all I know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I was like, come on, I bought 23. Can you at least give me a box? Like,
yeah,
I get it, maybe they couldn't, but like who would open it? Who would open it like that? Like where they would just open it for fun, just rip them open outside the box. Why would you do that? I don't
yeah. I
know.
don't know. Maybe they just buy one. I mean, $7 is not a huge investment.
No, no, I mean Bushiroad themselves, like the actual
Oh, oh,
store, right? Like you would imagine
oh,
storing them on a freaking shelf. This came from Bushiroad directly.
oh.
Like if you store it on a shelf, it's easier to leave them in box form than ripping
Yeah,
them out of the box. It's like, what are
yeah.
you doing? Like leave them in the
People are
box.
weird. People are
When
weird, man.
that's what I mean. I'm like, you have 23, there's 13 in a box. So doesn't that mean you should probably have 10 singles and 13 like a one box and 10 singles? That only makes sense to me. Why would you rip them all open and be like, oh, here we got all these singles? It saves
Yeah,
time. What are you saving time from? Like your box holds it. Like
yeah.
that's even like just okay. Well, there it is. Yeah. So
Yep,
I
yep.
felt really bad that it almost seems like an impossible task. So the people that write that they actually did try, I will enter them in and then do
Nice,
that.
nice.
Yeah, because it sucks. I thought this was gonna be easier than that. And I was actually just being lazy. I just didn't I was like, what, I don't got the time and I got 23, so I got extra.
Yeah. You
That's
probably
what
give away the one secret.
no. No, I'm gonna open them until I get so my plan is I'm gonna open till I get my 13. Hopefully I have some left. If I do, great. If the person that wins wants it sealed, I'm just gonna buy it from the store and have it sent from there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. And then I know Audrey is a huge D4 DJ Rinku fan, so I was going to um, just give that to Audrey
Yeah,
because if I have extra one, what the heck am I gonna do with it? Which is
yeah, yeah,
hey, and I can give it to people, but I don't know anybody that likes D4 DJ. So
yeah.
that's yeah, and it's open, so I don't feel like selling it. But there
It's a
we
lot of
are.
hassle too to try to sell those.
Yeah, yeah, and they're brittle.
Yeah.
I mean, you could hold it, like you could see people like holding it, like so it's not like one layer of rice paper. If I just throw a rock at it, it'll like go right through. It's not like that, but
Yeah.
it's sturdy enough to yeah. Okay. There we are. So that's the secret to the giveaway. If you write, you
Yep.
try, you're entered. But if you're listening to this and you didn't try, don't just do that. Please just type it in the internet and attempt a 1 minute search.
I don't know, man. If someone's still listening, they deserve something.
They deserve something.
Oh yeah.
You get to talk with us. You get to talk about your hopes and dreams and Weiss.
Yeah, make sure if you actually are, make sure you post something. That would be great to have like another opinion on here.
Yeah, I would like that. No, I
Yeah.
honestly would like to hear different opinions. I would love to have a shop owner viewpoint. I mean, it's not even that. I want to know what Bushiroad actually does for them or not does for them. I mean, Audrey told me like they push card fight Vanguard, they don't spell Wise, which is
Yeah.
very sad. I mean, you would think they would just go down a list. Hey, how's your Weiss doing? Like, this is probably what we want to do with that. Hey, how's card fight Vanguard?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane that you don't ask about it.
I'll talk to I know a guy that owns a store. I don't know if he does Weiss, but I'll talk to him. See what we can
Anything
do
with
there.
Bushy Road. How about that? Do they?
He's way bigger than us though. He's got like 20K subs. So I don't know if it'd be worth his time, but we'll
Oh
see.
no. Yeah, I just need someone that works with Bush. That's what I mean, like that whole experience, because that's what I mean. We're
Yeah,
missing that viewpoint, right? Like
yeah, that's
we
true.
don't have that view on how they treat the LGS in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right, it's time. I was
All
supposed to
right,
go
yeah.
tonight, not happening.
Yeah, yeah, you might want to get to that, man. It's getting late.
No, I'm gonna throw this up. I'll
Yep.
put chapters in it tomorrow because I don't know how many different paths we veered off, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we'll go from there. Okay,
All right,
so
man.
always fun. We'll do it again. I know we have more topics, unless you want to cover like some more of these problems. I call them the list of, what do I call it? The list of Weiss. The,
Yeah,
oh,
we'll have to make a list of problems.
I got it. I already got it. I already got
Okay, okay.
it. I'll just run them through. All right. And
All
I'm
right, man.
tired. All right. Take it easy. Have a good day tomorrow.
Yep. See you, man.
Bye.